Catherine? What are you doing here? Catherine, call the police. Now get out of this office.
I apologize for bringing Arthur. I admit he's something of a cliche, but I wanted to be sure we would have our little talk.
We've already had our talk, Poole. The answer is still no. Now get out.
I don't understand people like you, Lanier. I offer you a bona fide partnership. And you don't just turn me down, you treat me like some sort of pariah. That's not sociable. What do you think, Arthur? Sit down, Catherine. I regret the use of violence, but on occasion it does serve as an attention getter.
You don't scare me, Poole.
Arthur, I still don't have his complete attention. I'm a reasonable man, Lanier. I believe in talking things out.
Oh, go ahead. Maybe he'll miss.
Get your hands off me.
Oh, I forgot. The notorious Mr. Poole is now a legitimate businessman and doesn't have a gun. Help him up.
Now, wait a minute, McMillan. You're not going to try and make something out of this, are you?
I said help him up. Oh. It's like the old days, isn't it? Thought you'd just give him a working over yourself, wouldn't you? It's going to cost you.
You've been trying to get me for years, McMillan. You've still got nothing. Mr. Lanier and I were having a business meeting. He slipped and fell. That's all there is to it.
Not this time. Mr. Lanier told us about your first meeting. That's why we're here. Now, if I remember my law books, when assault and battery is accompanied by terrorization of another innocent party, the charge becomes assault and battery plus false imprisonment. And that, Mr. Poole, is good from 1 to 10. Read him his rights.
Mr. Poole, you have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say...
Too much?
Is that a question or a statement of fact?
Too much. All right, Mildred, are you ready? Too sophisticated?
Not if you're meeting a Frenchman for a secret rendezvous, but for meeting a Frenchman at an airport and his wife, who is supposed to be stunning.
Yes.
And rich.
1 out of 2 ain't bad. What am I gonna wear?
Oh.
I'm stumped.
Listen, I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, Jacques Arnaud is just another cop, only with a French accent.
He's a dear friend of Max. He just married Maggie Sinclair. You know who she is. I'm looking forward to meeting her. I want to look my best.
Well, what about this charming ensemble?
Mildred. C'est fantastique. C'est pas trop simple. C'est pas trop sophistiqué. C'est absolument parfait.
You Josh.
C'est parfait.
Oh, and don't worry about the rest of this stuff. I have the whole weekend to put it away.
Oh, I gotta call Mac. I don't think he knows we've only got an hour to get to the airport.
Well, I wish we could pin him with a lot more, Mac, but at least we've got something.
I wouldn't count on the secretary, though. She's scared out of her wits, but I think Lanier will hold up. Certainly got enough protection around him.
Yeah, well, you're the key, Mac. Now, Lanier's going to testify because the commissioner of police is going to testify.
Excuse me. Yes? Oh, tell her I can't right now. I'm right in the middle of it. Well, it's always important. All right, I'll take it. Yes, Sally, I know what time it is. Yes, Sally, I know he's my friend. Yes, I'm leaving in a few minutes. What? Oh, well, that sounds like a wonderful outfit. Right, I'll meet you at the airport. Goodbye.
Sounds like you've got an appointment. And so do I. Look, we can touch base on this later in the week, Mac.
Thanks for the visit, Frank. And this time we're going to nail Poole.
Bye, sir. Commissioner, I'm worried. I think I should tell you that there's a rumor out on the streets that Poole has a contract out on you.
I think it's true.
Well, I certainly wouldn't underestimate Mr. Poole, sir.
I better get going.
You know, it was just about a year ago that Inspector Arnaud was here, wasn't it?
International Police Conference.
Well, give him my regards, would you?
Shall I also convey that sneaky little look?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about the inspector getting married. Didn't he say last year that he was going to stay a bachelor no matter what?
Sure, he said it. I think he believed it.
I think I'll walk with you.
Hey, Sergeant, you got a minute?
See you later, sir. Sir, those rumors are right on the button. Raymond Poole is not wasting any
Doesn't
time.
have to be. Poole could have been anybody else.
Oh, you mean someone's going to take a shot figuring that Poole will get the blame?
Could be. Either this guy's a lousy shot or he's deliberately trying to miss me.
Well, maybe Poole was only trying to scare you.
His usual tactic is around a diamond time, isn't it?
But if he wants to do more than scare you, sir, the airport's going to be a very good place to try again.
If I go to the airport, Poole may try to kill me. But if I don't go to the airport, my wife definitely will. Where do you think you're going?
To the airport?
All right. But on one condition. Not a word to Sally.
Commissioner, I promise you, Mrs. McMillan won't even see me.
You're late.
Where are they? Where's that one?
Unless I missed them and they're wandering around somewhere, which is very possible. I don't remember Jacques all that well.
You'd have recognized Maggie.
Because she starts traffic when she gets off the plane.
You know how it is. Beautiful women always go for cops.
I think I like that.
Hey! You, Sally. Mac, Sally, may I present my wife?
How do you do?
That word still sounds strange to my tongue.
Maggie, Sally.
Mag. You know, I think we have the beginnings of a vaudeville team.
But of course. Well, what do you really think of this strange mixture?
Terrific.
Vin ordinaire, le champagne.
Oh, no. Well, what the inspector very gallantly neglects to tell you is that I shamelessly pursued him, didn't want to have anything to do with me. And you know why? Because I'm the vin ordinaire in this marriage.
We have the same setup.
Oh? We do?
Where's your luggage?
Ah, the porte à gate there. It is good to see you again.
And you, Jacques. Oh, tout va bien.
Tout va très bien. But that's good. That's good. Except one thing. There remains the task of facing my new father-in-law.
Don't tell me he still doesn't know you're married.
Oh, he knows it all right. The question is, will he get over it?
Apparently, Monsieur Sinclair does not take kindly to a fait accompli.
Well, that's why he's not here. Yes, Justin R. Sinclair, renowned industrialist, confidant to presidents, diplomatic representative to nations large and small, is home pouting. But don't worry, I will have him purring like a kitten by sundown. And, oh, he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to give us a really super party on Saturday night, and you will please come. Yes, you're on. Good.
Ah, good. Eh, Potter! But
Why is he following us?
Who?
Sergeant Enright. I spotted him before, sort of flitting around, hiding behind things. Why is he acting so funny?
Well, he's just checking on something. I wouldn't pay any attention to him.
Oh, that's all it is. Thought maybe he had a problem or something.
Well, there's just one. Keeping out of sight.
Mildred, why now?
Woman's work is never done, Commish. Lift your foot. Now the other one.
At the same time?
Oh, please.
Mac, is Justin Sinclair as rich as everybody says he is?
Richer.
Thank you, Mildred.
Here, I'll fix that. Wonder how he and Jacques are getting along.
He called me yesterday. Apparently, Sinclair's come up with a couple of suggestions.
Like what?
For example, tonight's party will be an opportune time for Jacques and Maggie to announce their annulment.
What else?
Plus a trial separation of 5 years. Come on, we're late.
Don't leave on my account.
We won't. Mildred, enrich my store of knowledge. Why are you vacuuming at night?
I always do my work when the spirit moves me. All creative people are like that.
Yeah.
Have a nice night, Mildred.
Oh, it's going to be sensational. I have 4 more rooms to create.
How was your day today?
Oh, the usual. You know, I met Sinclair a couple of times. Seems like a stubborn old bird. I'll bet Maggie's got him wrapped around her little finger. You know, it's really odd, two people like that. Jack and Maggie pairing off. French cop, jet-set heiress.
Man.
I've always heard that Maggie was rich and spoiled, but you know what? I think she was lost until she met Jack.
Mac.
On the other hand, Jacques probably was living in a vacuum.
Mac.
Huh?
I know.
Well, what?
You don't have to throw the paper in the back seat. I know someone tried to kill you.
Oh, that.
Oh, that. How can you act so casual?
He was only trying to scare me.
You know, I wish you were in a safer line of business like tax law.
Raymond Poole is not entirely stupid. Anything that happens to me would end up in his head, and he knows it.
Now, how do you know that he is as logical as you are? He could end up in prison, and I could end up in basic black.
Sally, Raymond Poole is extremely logical. Take my word for it.
I ought to have my head examined. How did this thing turn into a celebration?
You're always look sweet.
Well, at least he's consistent.
Mm-hmm. So's a shark.
Well, let's get back to the problem. Jacques, this business of yours,
Justin.
where does it go?
Justin, you promised to give Jacques the night off.
I never claimed to keep all my promises, particularly where a man's future is at stake. Now, here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. 2 exalted cops on top of the heap, and between you, you don't make as much money as a tongue-tied insurance agent.
That is exquisitely subtle.
I think, sir, you're underestimating the graft.
Well, all I'm really trying to do is to point out that Jacques has a few responsibilities now. He cannot play Sherlock Holmes and be married to Maggie Sinclair at the same time.
So far, so good.
All right, I'll put it another way. I am 73 years old, and maybe I'll get to be 74, but the doctors aren't all that
Daddy,
sure.
I really wish you wouldn't talk like that.
I am talking like that because there are times when these things need talking about. Eileen here has been running Sinclair International for the past 6 or 7 years, and doing a damn fine job. Now, you and Eileen get along very well. You always have. Now, when I go, my share of the company is going to be put in your lap. That way, I'll know that Eileen is going to stay right where she is, keeping Sinclair on an even keel.
Daddy, do we have to talk about that now? Besides, what about Sharon?
Oh, your sister's well taken care of. You don't have to worry about her. Anyway, I've already told her about this. Now, and as for you, I hate to say it because I still don't approve of this marriage, but you have a pretty good head on your shoulders. Sinclair International can use you. At least that's what Eileen thinks.
Oh, very much so, John. No less than the ambassador, no matter how unappetizing he makes himself.
Merci. You flatter me, Ambassador. But as you yourself have pointed out more than once, I'm a pretty old dog set in his ways. I like being a policeman.
Well, it's long been said that money is power. And power certainly is the way of this world. I think you'll change your mind.
I think we ought to toast to the new majority stockholder of Sinclair International.
And to the next tycoon.
No way.
Thought you weren't going to let it bother you.
Well, it does bother me. Any way you put it, it's a slap in my face.
Sharon, it's your father's stock, and that makes it his decision. Look, you can't really blame him. He's not a well man. He's looking for continuity. Maggie and Eileen are close. And with Eileen running Sinclair International, he's got that continuity.
Well, I'd get rid of her in 2 seconds flat. She was nothing when my mother died. It was merely a girl's Friday. Now, Maggie may have been young enough to be fooled by that ingratiating substitute mother act of hers, but not me. She never fooled me. And she's got the bottom line, that Miss Eileen Cole. She's got complete control of Sinclair International.
Don't you think that's a pretty insupportable statement? Eileen's had 25 years to work on the ambassador, but he's still leaving his stock to Maggie.
Well, of course, darling, obviously. He and Maggie have just always had that very special rapport. And what do you think is going to happen when my father does die? Eileen Cole is going to play her just like a violin.
You really do have a flair for the dramatic, Sharon. You see plots and intrigues everywhere. Anyway, what difference does it really make? After all, I'm legal counsel to Sinclair International.
You're only one of 50 of them, darling.
And you've got enough money for 2 lifetimes. Why don't you sit back and enjoy the one you've got?
Confessions of a boneless man? Oh, you don't know what it's like to fight for anything.
Oh, yes, I do. I am fighting to keep you.
Well, you're losing.
Tasted these spinach puffs?
No.
Oh, they're so good. They're so many little creamy things. I'm going to gain 20 pounds.
Why don't I get you a valise?
That reminds me, I had the most fantastic idea. Why don't we go visit them over Christmas?
Who?
Jacques and Maggie. Who else?
They live in Paris.
I know they live in Paris. That's the whole idea. Christmas in Paris. What an inspiration.
And it just came to you.
Well, we would have a free place to stay.
In other words, having extracted an invitation from Maggie, you have launched your campaign.
You might say that.
Mrs. McMillan, would you do me the honor?
I'd be delighted. Guard this with your life.
Oh, look at that.
Commissioner, you know him pretty well, don't you?
Yes, sir, and if you really want to know, he is corrupt. Virtually an alcoholic, has a sadistic streak a mile long, and he cheats on all of his mistresses.
That's not what I'm interested in.
I know what you're interested in. You want me to talk to him?
Exactly.
It won't do you any good.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
probably make a lousy businessman anyway.
The worst.
I suppose he is a pretty good cut.
The best.
Do you have the time?
Well, did you launch the campaign?
I was fantastically subtle. Of course, he picked up anyway.
Don't worry about it. I'll work on him. Christmas in Paris, that is a promise.
With my plate?
I don't know.
You don't know? I'm gonna have to start another one. Will you guys excuse me?
To you and Maggie.
To the four of us. You know, Mac, Sally's a fine girl. She has a very special joie de vivre.
We've both done pretty well since the last time we saw each other.
Those were good times.
Good times.
You know something? I have a confession to make. This marriage business. I really don't know how good I'm going to be at it. No.
I am.
Yeah, but we are different. I've lived alone for so long. I've enjoyed being a hermit.
Yeah.
His Majesty beckons.
Run.
Yes, of course.
Commissioner McMillan? Yes? Mrs. Arnold would like you to join her on the terrace.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad I caught you, Mac. Now listen, I'm going to be very direct and very obstinate.
Something about Christmas in Paris?
Aha, exactly. Now look, I've only known Sally for a very brief time, but we're very much alike and we both get what we want. So, what's the point in putting up a fuss?
Well, sounds great, Maggie. We'd love to go, but I don't think I can project my schedule this far in advance.
You just promise me to plan on it and the rest will take care of itself. Promise?
I promise.
True.
Somebody get a doctor. I'm a doctor. Marion, my bag's in the car.
What happened? Maggie? Maggie.
Who's in charge here?
I am, sir.
There was another waiter here. He's blonde, average build. Where is he?
I don't know. I don't have anyone who looks like that, sir.
Ma'am. She's gone.
It ought to turn up something. Got copies posted all over town.
I want him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work on this case, Mike.
Jacques, do you think you should get involved in this?
I will do whatever is required of me.
I hope so.
Well, what have you learned about him?
Nothing. Posing as a waiter, that's all.
There's no question about it. That business of drawing you out onto the terrace was deliberate.
I didn't get it at the time, but Maggie wasn't expecting me out there. She said, "I'm glad I caught you, Mac." She wouldn't have said that if she was expecting me.
It's quite an operation. One man guides you into the target area, and the other man is waiting. Chances are they got away together.
It's my fault.
It's not true.
I didn't take Raymond Poole seriously enough.
Mac, you know as well as I do that in this business, one doesn't jump into bed and hide beneath the covers each time one's life is threatened. It's not your fault. I must be going now.
Sally will be along in a minute. Why don't you have dinner with us?
No, I'm having dinner with St. Clair. It's a difficult time for him, too.
Jacques, it's none of my business, but we all carry our grief differently, but are you all right?
Mac, my good friend, my wife has been murdered. And for me, this is the single greatest tragedy of my life. But Maggie would not want me to wallow in it. She would want me to go on and to catch her killer. And this I will do. With your help. We owe that to her. And as for me, well, we will take each day, yes?
I'll get him, Jacques. I'll get Raymond Poole, I promise you.
That won't be so easy from what I've heard.
No, it won't. He's got an airtight alibi.
You know, sometimes one is tempted to apply a bit of pressure.
Except one abides by the rules.
Well, of course.
And I know back in Paris you're used to doing things your own way.
But here I'm out of my jurisdiction, right?
Don't misunderstand. I want your help very much.
I understand perfectly. When I am a guest, I always abide by the rules of my host.
That's all I ask.
You know, Mac, I can understand why you're worried about Jacques.
I'm not worried. I'm just concerned.
Well, I don't know why you let him work on the case anyway.
Because he wants to.
I know, but it was his wife that was killed. Aren't you afraid he's going to blow his cool?
I'm more concerned how he reacts when this investigation is over, when he'll have nothing to concentrate on.
Mrs. McMillan, are we going to move?
After I just spent all that money for the new drapes?
The game, it's your move.
Ah, I thought it was your move. Let's see. Mildred. Check.
I'll get it.
I frankly don't know how he has the nerve to walk the streets anyway.
Who?
Raymond Poole. He's a killer.
Not till we prove it.
Hi, Jacques.
Ah, Sally.
Hi, Sergeant. Come on in.
Can I get you boys something to eat?
Un café, s'il vous plaît.
Ah, moi aussi, s'il vous plaît.
How you feeling, Jacques?
I said what?
How you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you.
I wish you would stay with us for a while.
No, I would only be in the way.
You would not be in the way, would he, Mag?
Well, he's a big boy. How's everything?
I'm exhausted, sir. Incidentally, Raymond Poole has been an absolute Boy Scout since we're onto him.
Mike, do you know a man named Morrison? Jake Morrison.
Jake Morrison. Hey, wasn't he associated with Poole years ago?
Yeah, they were partners.
Correct. There was a power struggle and Morrison lost.
Put it mildly.
Whatever happened to Jake Morrison?
Ask Jacques. He seems to be the current authority.
Whatever happened to Jake Morrison?
Well, thanks to your files, it seems Mr. Morrison has dropped out of sight. But perhaps if we can locate him, he just might relish the opportunity to settle an old score.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, let's find out where he is and talk to him first thing in the morning.
Bon.
Je comprends, Commissioner.
Charlie, you forever surprise me.
Merci. Actually, the good inspector here has been helping me to brush up on my French.
Sergeant, we can continue your lessons on the way back to headquarters.
Headquarters?
You must help me to locate the current address on Morrison.
Now?
But of course, if we are to get to Morrison in the morning, we must find out where he is tonight. N'est-ce pas?
Oui. Au revoir, Commissioner. Madame, back to the pits.
See you in the morning, Mac. Bonsoir, Sally.
Where's your coffee?
There is no time, Mildred.
No time.
Well, Mr. McMillan, have some coffee. Oh, short people never get a break.
Sid. Hello?
McMillan, it's been over a week and I haven't seen any results. What kind of incompetent show are you running? Do you want me to put some private detectives on the case?
I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Ambassador. We're looking for a killer, a very clever one. Takes time.
Well, there ought to be some results by now.
There will be.
I'll make it happen soon, Commissioner, because the next telephone call I make will be to the governor.
Not too friendly, I gather.
We're up to the ambassador. We'll be in Siberia by now.
All right.
Play.
What is it again you said you could do with the horse?
Mildred, that is your knight. Now, he can move any combination of 1, 2, or 2, 1 spaces.
I thought that's what you said you do with the little soldiers here.
Pawn.
That is a pawn. Now, he can advance 1 or he can advance 2 the first time you move him.
Except to take an opponent.
Except to take an opponent.
Then you move diagonally.
Oh, yeah, then you move diagonally.
I seem to hear an echo.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to move this little fella right here.
You can't do that, Mildred.
What did I do?
Why? You can't move him sideways. I just told you.
Commissioner.
What are you asking him? You don't...
I'm going to bed. Good night.
How about a little two-handed poker?
Oh, well, now you're talking.
I'm going to bed.
There it is, sir.
Where's Jacques?
He said he tried to meet us here.
You're sure this is the address?
Yes, sir. I wrote it down. 1210 Grove Street.
Jake Morrison?
Well, if it is Jake Morrison, sir, it's quite a come down for a big-time racketeer.
Or maybe it's a new and beautiful Jake Morrison, huh?
Hi, may I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, I'd like to see Mr. Morrison.
Oh, hold on a minute. I'll see if he's in his office.
McMillan, what the hell does he want?
It ain't gonna be a rubdown.
Get out of here.
He doesn't seem to be in.
Why don't you try again?
Yes, sir.
Why don't he take off?
I'm not here, McMillan. Beat it.
They're coming in. Clear it!
Come on over here.
Where's Morrison?
Can I help you, fellas?
Where's Morrison?
Jake, he must have left here about a half an hour ago.
About a half a minute
Hey,
ago.
where you going? Morrison ain't here!
I'm afraid that this gentleman and I collided. You are right, monsieur.
What is this?
Pardon, I'm sorry.
Can a guy jog around the block anymore?
You do have a sense of the dramatic, don't you, Jacques?
Oh. I don't know what's going on, but you got a case of false arrest on your hands, Commissioner.
You notice everybody's concerned with false arrest these days, Sergeant? I just want to talk to you. Why don't we go back to your office?
Who is this Frenchy guy, anyway?
Foreign exchange program.
Hitman? What are you talking about, Hitman? What would I know?
Because you're smart, Jake. You keep your eyes open.
Hey, look, I've been out of the big time 7, 8 years now. If Ray Poole wants to slug it out with the cops, let him make the papers. Me, I'm flying straight these days. I don't know from nothing.
What do you suppose this is, Charlie?
Well, sir, if I didn't know that Mr. Morrison was flying straight these days, I'd say it was a betting ticket.
Come on. That's a plant, and you guys planted it.
Did you plant it, Charlie?
No, sir.
Jacques? Are the numbers in French?
No.
It is not mine.
Must be yours, Jake.
All I know is you hear things on the street.
No one's holding you to anything.
The word is that Poole brought in this guy from out of town. I think his name is Sable.
What else?
That's it.
Jake, Ray Poole took you over the ropes a couple of years ago. How would you like a chance to get even?
Look, I'm not saying I don't hate his guts. But Poole did me a favor, you know. My blood pressure's down 50 points from the old days.
Well, the thing is, Jake, I really need you.
Why me? I don't want to get involved. There's guys out there with meat hooks, you know.
Perhaps Monsieur Morrison would care to explain the betting slip at headquarters, Mike?
Oh, we don't want to pressure him, Jacques.
Well,
all I'm asking is that he keep his ears open, get me a light on Sable.
All right, I'll keep in touch.
You bet.
Here we go, sir.
Yes? Send him in. We finally got something on Sable out of Chicago. Full name, Thomas NMI Sable, born in Cleveland, age 30. Record you wouldn't believe, in and out of everything with a wall around it.
may I?
Yeah. Quite a versatile killer. Knives, guns, explosives, even hit and run.
Animal. Is there a photograph?
Chicago's trying to dig one up, sir. It should be here no later than tomorrow.
Yeah, well, there's nothing more we can do. You coming to dinner, aren't you?
No. Huh? I'm going to do better than that.
Ha 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 ha. Sally finally got you.
She's a very persuasive woman.
You just don't want to miss anything.
Well, something like that, yes.
You can't come. Mildred.
I'm coming. Something like this takes time.
Well, what's so complicated about ice cream?
Oh, she's making something special. Where's your patience?
Oh, yeah, something special. The last time I had something special she made, I was on bicarbonate for 2 weeks.
I heard that.
Okay, 1 week.
Well, I don't know whether to serve this or have it bronzed.
Wow.
Incroyable.
What is this goo?
You know, Commissioner, I hate to say this, but sometimes you have the sophistication of a paw kettle.
Mildred, pay no attention to the commissioner. It looks superb.
Well, we'll give it the famous taste test. Oh, Mildred, you have done it again. No wonder half the crowned heads of Europe worship at your feet.
As I do at yours, talented lady.
Now, you see, him I like.
Whatever happened to good old ice cream?
Mildred's being creative.
Then let her vacuum something.
This is English trifle, and it's delicious.
I know what trifle is. I just didn't recognize it.
Paw kettle, I told you. How about a little more for those who appreciate three-star cuisine?
Superb, mes absolutement superb. Mademoiselle, may I kiss your hand? Oh, dear.
There are rewards in this job. Bon appetit, Inspector.
Merci.
And bon appetit to almost everyone else.
She's fantastic.
She is for sale. Excuse me. Hello?
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes?
I wonder if you remember me, Alan Joyce?
Yes, of course.
Good. My wife and I would like to talk to you. We think, well, that is, Sharon in particular thinks it could be very important.
How about tomorrow morning in my office, say around 10:30?
That'll be fine. Thank you, Commissioner. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Who was that, man?
Nobody. A departmental meeting.
Huh.
Well, I think I'll try some of this goo. I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Too late. I see you have capitulated.
I have not capitulated. I have, however, in a moment of weakness, decided to try it.
Ah, well, very well. Tell me what you think, and don't spare my feelings.
I think I'll have some eggs. Where are the eggs?
Move over, Commish. I'll do it. How do you like your eggs?
Mildred, I have been known to cook an egg or two in my time. In fact, on those frequent days when you have off, I have perfected a 3-star fried egg and a toasted muffin, which is, in a word, superb.
Would you deign to let me toast the muffin?
Won't you?
Sweet. Ah, last one.
One does not slice the English muffin. One separates it in two, thusly.
Does one? How nice. Except these won't fit in our toaster.
One puts it in the oven. Are we out of eggs again?
Look in the 7-day meat keeper.
One hesitates to ask why eggs are kept in a 7-day meat keeper. Oh. Mildred.
Now, let me guess. You are looking for the frying pan.
Check.
Under the sink.
Why on earth is everything in this kitchen secreted in cupboards and drawers 12 inches from the floor?
I'll tell you what. The next time you're out shopping for a housekeeper, get one that's 6'4", will you? And then everything will be nice and high, just the way you like it.
Is Inspector Arnaud up yet?
Oh, up and out with crack of dawn. Want to know what he had for breakfast?
No.
Omelette a la Mildred. You know, he's quite a guy. And I don't say that because he thinks I'm talented, witty, intelligent, and attractive, and appealingly diminutive.
But it helps.
Oh, it don't hurt.
Mildred.
Oh, say, I am sorry about that.
I had my heart set on fried eggs and toasted muffins.
Yeah, well, why don't you just have the eggs with a side of trifle?
Blech.
You are a picky eater, aren't you? Listen, I think this must have fallen out of his luggage.
I'll give it back to him.
You don't suppose he left that behind for me to find, do you? Sort of a romantic symbol?
I doubt it.
Me too.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Joyce are here, sir.
Send them in. Morning.
Good morning. I think you remember Sharon?
Yes, nice to see you again.
Commissioner?
Nice to see you. Thank you. Please sit down.
Thank you. Frankly, Commissioner, Sharon's the one who prompted this visit. But I guess you know the Sinclairs are a stubborn bunch.
So I've heard.
Alan takes most things a bit less seriously than I do, Commissioner. But I think these are well worth you looking into.
They're extracts of stock purchases, Commissioner. Recently, I discovered that a rather large amount of Sinclair stock had been acquired by various holding companies. When Sharon learned about it, she became a little upset.
Very upset. Every one of those holding companies is owned by Raymond Poole.
Poole? Why would he be interested in Sinclair stock?
That's exactly the question. Why? Unless he's acquiring a voice in the company. A big voice.
Well, I thought control of the company was vested in the family.
Well, that's true, but it's a very divided family, Commissioner. Myself and Eileen Cole. My father really isn't a factor in this. Eileen administers his stock. But with his 20% and Eileen's 8%, Miss Eileen Cole has a great deal of power.
Are you trying to tell me that Miss Cole is quietly selling off her father's stock?
Of course. The same stock that Raymond Poole is buying up just as fast as it hits the market.
Well, I'm a little confused. I mean, what you're telling me is not a police matter. Why don't you talk to your father or Miss Cole?
Well, that's what I've been saying right along. I still think that Eileen Cole ought to be given a chance to state her case.
I am not interested in what Eileen Cole has to say. I'm sure you understand, Commissioner, that I am not fond of Eileen Cole, but that's not the point. I am convinced that she is no less responsible for Maggie's death than Raymond Poole.
That's a very strong accusation.
Not really. Not if Eileen Cole and Raymond Poole are conspiring to take over the company. You see my point, Commissioner? If I'm right, then the one situation that neither one of them can afford is that court case now pending against Poole. And you know why? Because in the course of the trial, Poole's stock purchases are bound to come out. And you know what's going to happen to Sinclair International when that hits the market? The whole bottom's going to drop right out.
In other words, what Sharon's suggesting is that Poole and Eileen Cole conspired to kill you in order to kill the case.
I'm sure of it.
It's nothing but a theory, Sharon. It's a bit unseemly, isn't it? Hanging out the family wash on the heels of Maggie's death?
If my sister was killed because of a power-grabbing scheme of Eileen Cole, don't you think it ought to be hung out on the wash?
Well, I don't like it.
No, of course not. You don't like anything that disturbs your status quo.
I'm quite sure the commissioner isn't interested in our bickering, Sharon.
No. But I'm sure he's interested in justice. Commissioner, there is nothing that I can do with that information. If I go to my father, well, he'll just think I'm acting out of spite and listen to anything that Eileen Cole tells him. And if I go to her, well, she'll just give me a twisted story and then go and cry on my father's shoulder. Commissioner, I'm asking you for your help.
May I keep these?
Of course.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, indeed.
Let me see your license. Oh, it's you, sir. What's going on?
Crazy driver.
Yes.
Ambassador,
Well,
I'd like to talk to you.
unless you can show some progress, there's nothing to talk about.
You shouldn't be up, Jason.
Perhaps I've come at the wrong time.
Nothing wrong with right now, nothing wrong with me.
Well, you're not going to prove anything by standing out. The doctor wants you off your feet.
What can he be expected to say? He's paid to make mountains out of molehills. Oh, don't worry about me. This is just one of those little scares that God likes to throw at 73-year-old men. What did you want to see me about, Commissioner?
Well, actually, I wanted to talk to you both. What do you know about Raymond Poole?
Well, I know he's the lowest form of reptile on this earth.
Are you aware that he's been buying up Sinclair stock?
Poole?
Well, there's no way of controlling the sale of common stock. Now, I'm sure you're aware of that, Commissioner.
Frankly, it's been suggested to me that he's been buying family-owned stock.
That's a lie! A lie! Do you hear me?
Anyone.
Sorry, I didn't know he was so ill when I called.
He's been like that since Maggie. We don't know if it's going to get any better. Why don't we go into my office? It's just in the other wing.
Impressive.
It's an unlikely place to headquarter a company. But the ambassador likes to know it's close. Even though he rarely visits this part of the house. You were right about Raymond Poole. He has acquired a good deal of Sinclair stock. Family-owned stock.
That's straight enough. Mind telling me why?
Simplest of reasons. Company needs cash. In order to raise it, I floated a certain amount of privately held stock. But I think there's something that you ought to understand right now. That until this week, I had no idea that the purchasing company that bought the stock was owned by Poole. Let's get down to brass tacks, Commissioner. You wouldn't be here unless you suspected some sort of conspiracy between Poole and Sinclair International. And more specifically, between Poole and me. Well, no such conspiracy exists. If it did, I could easily have manipulated the sale of the ambassador stock rather than my own. The money paid for the stock has been turned over as a personal loan from me. As for Raymond Poole, well, he seems to be investing pretty heavily in the market these days. He's simply happened to invest in Sinclair International. That's all there is to that.
I'll say one thing, Miss Cole. If you were planning on taking over the company, this would be a pretty poor way to go about it.
Commissioner, there's nothing in this world that I would do to hurt Justin Sinclair. We've had a long and unique association. It's coming to an end. When he goes, I'm going to make Sharon Joyce very happy. I'm going to leave without a word. She did come to you, didn't she? It's funny. Sharon has always thought of me as some sort of a power-mad interloper. I never wanted all of this. Well, when the ambassador dies, it's all going to be Sharon's. And I won't miss it a bit.
You had this all ready for me, didn't you?
Well, it was ready for someone. When I discovered that Poole had been buying up our stock, I knew there was room for a misunderstanding, particularly from Sharon. Yes? Oh, just a minute. It's for you, Commissioner.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Jake Morrison just called in, sir. He's got something.
I'll be there in 30 minutes. Thank you, Miss Cole. You've been very helpful.
Well, I'll walk you to the door.
No, that's not necessary. I know how busy you are. I'll find my way out.
How you feeling?
Never mind me. Has McMillan gone?
He just left. I think you're being a little hard on him, Justin. He's doing his job.
Accusing us of being in cahoots with Raymond Poole? You call that doing his job?
Oh, it's all been taken care of. He made an honest mistake.
If I thought a man like Poole owned 5 cents worth of Sinclair, I'd never get another night's sleep.
I don't want you to do anything. So just take care of yourself.
Oh, they haven't been all bad, have they? 15 years.
Granary?
That's Jake's new lifestyle, sir.
Any sign of Inspector Arnault?
No, sir, not since this morning. He mentioned something about renting a car. I think he went on out to the cemetery, sir.
Oh. Did you leave him a message?
Yeah, I left a note telling him we'd be here and to meet us here if we got back in time. Oh, and Commissioner, we really lucked out, sir. Chicago sent us a picture of Sable.
Aha. Good.
Commissioner? Here.
Ah, thank you.
Try the number 3 plate. Terrific. Natural. Everything natural. A healthy body and a healthy mind. You know what I mean?
You're a model of self-improvement, Jake.
It's all part of the spiritual thing. Everything clean, wholesome.
Too bad they didn't serve that back in reform school.
I got a little something for you, but there's no guarantees that go with it.
Yeah.
23 Castle Street, apartment 4J. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
We'll see you again, Jake.
Do me a favor, huh? Don't make it too quick.
Dale?
Let's find out. He's pretty good. All right, if he wants to catch us.
Maybe he lost us.
Either that or he's pretty smart. One way or another, we can't sit around here all day. Well, I'll be damned.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. We have this continuing problem of affecting a rendezvous, do we not?
What were you doing tailing us?
My dear Mac, I am trying to explain that I have not been telling you. I received the sergeant's note. I drove to the restaurant. I arrived just when you were leaving. I followed your tortured and paranoid path, and now I am here to join you. Okay? Now this Marcus, he has some news?
An address? It might be Sable's.
Then what are we waiting for? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
It's yours, isn't it?
I don't deny it, yes.
It's a magnesium-tipped bullet. It not only kills people, it tears people apart.
I know what it can do,
We
Mac,
can't use it
all
here.
right?
It's against the law. Now, I may feel the same way you do, but I'm trying to run a police department, not a private club for revenge. Do I make myself clear?
Sergeant? Could you check the clip for me, if you please?
They're not mag tips, sir. They're straight slugs.
Mac. This one is a souvenir. I've had it for years.
I'm sorry.
Ça ne fait rien. Well, let us go, huh? No, no. Your car. Mine costs 12 cents a mile.
The French? Charlie, cover the rear. We'll go in through the front.
You all right?
Yes. We just heard from Mr. Sable.
What was it, Mac?
Hand grenade. Opening the door primed it. Not the most original booby trap ever made, but pretty effective.
Seems I owe you something, Mac. Thank you.
One thing certain, Sable didn't set this up by himself.
Morrison?
Let's go pay him a visit.
Me? How do you figure me?
Because you're the guy that sent us there.
That's crazy. You think I'd set you up and still be sitting here? I'd be in Alaska by now.
Not if you didn't expect us to live.
Look, McMillan, you squeeze me and I go out and I hustle up information. And I told you right out there was no guarantee on it. How do you think I feel? I was taken too, you know.
By whom?
Don't worry, I'll take care of you.
I'm not interested in your pride. I want to know who it is.
I put the word out on the street. At first, nothing. And then this guy I know comes up with the address. And it cost me $100. A guy named Andrew Green.
Where's he live?
On the other side of Golden Gate Park.
Right. You go first this time.
He floats around. Maybe he's not even there.
Let's take a chance.
A guy could get killed, you know. Thing I can't figure out is this guy's been solid. He comes to you with something and you go with it.
I know Angie Green. He served 2 times for burglary. He's a runner, a dealer, a pimp, you name it.
In other words, a quality citizen. Just the kind you can depend on. Excuse me, please. Angie Green?
Yeah, that's him.
Not very popular, was he? Who's she?
His girlfriend. She lives here.
You're the police? I called the police.
Yeah, what happened?
She came home from work a little while ago. Found him just the way you see him. She started screaming. I came in. Then I called the police.
Mac.
Yeah. We'll have the lab cab ticket.
What's wrong?
The waiter at the party, who was missing, remember? He was tied in with Sable right from the beginning.
Right up to the end.
Yeah. Let's take a look around. Jack? Find anything?
McMillan, you find yourself another seeing-eye dog. This guy Sable's a maniac, and maybe he ain't too happy with me. You know what I mean?
He won't hurt you. You don't know enough.
Yeah? I don't see it in writing. So if you want to lock me up, that's okay. Otherwise, I'm getting out of this place for a while.
All right, you can go. Two links to Sable, and they both turned out to be Angie Green. Now he's dead.
Back where we started.
Yeah.
We have nothing.
Let's go back to the office.
No, you go ahead, Mac. I have the rental car to pick up, and perhaps I'll walk for a while.
He just said it. We got nothing. Well, I know something we can do. Get the word out on the streets. The police are planning a series of massive raids and arrests. The whole city is going to be turned upside down. It's going to stay that way until Sable is out of the way. Use every pipeline you can. That'll flush him out.
Yeah? Commissioner? I put the word out on the street, sir. Within an hour, any punk willing to sell a rumor for $10 will be spreading the word that Sable is a very hot ticket.
Good.
Maybe we'll get lucky for a change.
Yeah, maybe. Anything from the lab on Angie Green?
Well, we don't have a detailed analysis yet, but the preliminary report isn't terrific either. Whoever killed Angie Green knew exactly what he was doing.
Like Sable, for instance?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not Sable.
Why not?
It doesn't make any sense. Why would he kill Angie?
Sable killed Green because he knew that Green was going to nail him to save his own skin.
Mob will kill him if he did that.
Commissioner, Sable wasn't brought to San Francisco for a sightseeing tour. When I told you there was a contract out on you, I had that information from a very reliable source.
I don't doubt that.
Well, then you've got to believe that it was Raymond Poole who hired Sable and that this whole thing is Poole's game.
Are you trying to tell me this is a pool game?
Oh, sir. I'd never say a thing like that.
If it is, he's not the only player, and that's your cue.
Speaking of players, sir, have you heard from Jacques?
No, not since we left Angie Green's.
I hated to see him go off all depressed like that.
Oh, he's not depressed.
Well, he wasn't exactly doing a tap dance, sir.
When Jacques' depressed, he's all over the place, looking for clues, searching through files, anything that'll give him a lead.
Do you think he knows something and he isn't telling us?
Possible.
Well, I know he's our friend, sir, but I'm going to put a tail on him.
No. He's too good.
Well, what are we supposed to do? Wait around here until he makes a move?
You can wait around here.
Where are you going?
Home? I'll wait around there.
Pool game?
Thank you. Your Paris-France party is on the line.
Merci, operator. Alors, Gervais.
Inspector, is that you?
Listen to me, Gervais. This is very important. Do you know the jeweler Chantier and Company in La Place Vendôme?
Reputation, sir. My salary provides little reason to visit the establishment.
It is absolutely vital that you contact Monsieur Chantier himself. Have him check his records and find out who purchased the platinum lighter. Leaf Design. Numbers D as in Devilla, 27. 27. Do you have that?
Yes, sir. I'll check it out first thing in the morning.
Now, Gervais. It must be done now.
Sir, it's 2 a.m. in Paris. What can be done at this hour?
I don't know, but there's only one way to find out.
Hi.
Hi.
You're early. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm in for a long, moody evening. What happened?
We were close to something. Really close. Now I'm back to square one.
Well, shoot. Where's Jacques?
Well, he ought to be along in a minute.
You know, you were right. He is amazing. I can't believe the way he's taking everything so well.
I don't know. He's too quiet. He defers to my authority. He's always there. He's not like him. I'm afraid that he'll go off like a time bomb once all this is settled.
He's a pro. You told me that yourself.
The shock is beginning to wear off. He's getting, I don't know what it is, angry. I don't know. It scares me. I'm beat.
You want a drink?
Yes. Triple martini. What's for dinner?
Funny you should ask about dinner, Commissioner. It's only 5 o'clock.
Go get the drink.
What's so funny about that?
Well, last night I said, Mildred, lift these people on wings of your culinary genius. And what was the result? A 3-star trifle.
I know. Crowned heads of Europe and all that.
But tonight I didn't have the call.
You didn't have the call.
I didn't make dinner.
No dinner.
Well, of course there's dinner. It ought to be here any minute.
You are not going to say...
Fender's Fish and Chips.
She said it anyway. Fender's Fish and Chips. Cheers.
Hello? Yes, this is he.
Inspector, absolutely no luck, sir. I finally got through to Madame Chantier. It seems Monsieur Chantier is out of town. Madame said he'd be back in the shop by morning.
Doesn't she know where he is?
Well, not really, sir. She is convinced that Monsieur Chantier is with his mistress, whom she does not know, but whom she intends to shoot at some future date.
Contact Monsieur Chantier the first thing when he arrives in the morning. When you have something, call me at 536-6674, Commissioner McMillan's home number. And don't worry about the time. Call me.
Inspector, is something seriously wrong?
Good night, Gervais.
Is it that bad?
It's not that good.
You should have stuck with a salad like me.
What'd you expect for $5?
For $5, even ptomaine would be chewable.
Okay, I'll get something to wash it down.
I'll get. Hello? Who is this? It's for you.
Who is it?
Mac and Sable.
Sable. Yes?
Ah, my name's Sable. You want to make a deal, McMillan?
When? Why not now? Right, Pier 31. Got it.
What did he say?
Wants to meet me, make a deal.
Well, you're not thinking of doing it. Mac, it's crazy to think about that. Sable is the killer. It's just about dark outside. He's setting up a trap.
Oh, he knows I'm not stupid enough to walk into a trap. A man like Sable exists in the darkness, yet he telephones me for a meeting in the daylight. Why?
Because he's thinking that you'll be thinking the way you're thinking. That's why he's going to catch you off your guard.
No, the pressure's too strong. So much so he's willing to expose himself to make a deal.
You're not going to go there alone.
No, call Enright. Have him meet me at Pier 31.
Aren't you forgetting something?
What?
Your black mask and silver bullets.
Well, I thought I'd leave him at home since my horse is in the shop.
Come on, I'm serious, Mac. Why would you go alone when you've got the whole San Francisco police force to help you?
He'll come on too strong. We'll scare him off.
How could Red Riding Hood have been so very good and still kept the wolf from the door? Father and mother, she had none. So where in the world did the money come from? Pray let me ask it, who filled her basket? The story books never tell. Bum, bum, bum. They say that she was the nicest of girls. Bum, 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 bum.
Come on, Sergeant.
Hello? Hello?
Jacques, I'm so glad
glad you're back.
What happened?
Listen, Sable called. He wanted to make a deal. Mac went to meet him.
Tell me where.
You'll never find it alone. I'll take you there. I better try Sergeant Enright one more time before we go.
Hello? What? Yeah, I got it. I'll be right there, Mrs. McMillan.
There's Mac's car. He must be on the pier.
Sally, I want you to leave.
Oh, no. No way.
Please keep out of sight and lock the car.
Good luck, Jacques.
Thank you. Hey, Mac! Look out!
Get back in the car, Sally! Call an ambulance! Drop it!
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan said that she and Inspector Arnaud were on their way here. Where are they, sir?
She's back at Pier 31. She's all right, but Sable here just shot the inspector.
Wait a minute, I didn't shoot anybody. You got it all wrong.
I saw it.
You didn't see anything. I'm telling you, I waited in my car outside the pier till maybe 5 minutes ago, just in case you had an army crawling around the place. Finally, I go onto the barge by that big crane. First thing I hear, somebody's blasting away. What do you expect me to do? I go back to my car. Next thing I know, you're on my back.
Commissioner, this gun hasn't been fired.
Sure. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I didn't hit anybody back there. I'm telling you, I didn't hit Angie Green either. I didn't hit Sinclair's daughter. Somebody is running around this town with a hot gun. They're throwing it on my head.
I suppose you didn't know anything about a contract on me.
Oh, yeah, sure, I knew about that. Poole brought me in on it, but not as a hit. I was just supposed to make you a little nervous.
Okay, you did your job. You made me nervous. Now, why this setup?
Huh. Because the man wanted another push. And when the man wants another push, you do what the man wants. You know what I mean, Commissioner? You know what I mean.
Cuff him. gonna make it?
We don't know yet.
Intensive care. Just a moment. It's for you, Commissioner.
Me?
Same woman.
Oh, it's Mildred. Why don't you take it?
Hi, Mildred. Wait a minute. Do you have a pencil and paper I could borrow? Sure. We don't know yet. We're still waiting to hear. Okay. Uh-huh. Slow down low. Lighter? Do you leave a number? Okay, I'll call you if anything happens, okay. That was Mildred. She just got a call from Paris. Somebody named Andre Gervais.
The Jacques' assistant. I've met him. How would he know Jacques was hurt?
Well, he didn't, not until Mildred told him. Now, the way Mildred explains it, Gervais was returning Jacques' call. Jacques had asked him to check on something, a lighter. He said it was very important.
A lighter?
A platinum lighter. Now, he described it to him. He told him to go to an exclusive jeweler's in Paris and check it out. He did. Now he's got the information, but he doesn't know what to do with it because Jacques can't talk to him. He thought maybe you might be able to help him.
I have no idea. Whatever it is, it has to do with Maggie's murder.
Well, I think Jacques has stumbled onto something.
Maybe it has to do with... Did Gervais leave a number?
Yeah, Elise 9333.
Nurse, may I make a phone call, please?
Yes, of course.
Operator. Yes, I'd like to make a call to Paris, please. Elise 9333. Person to Mr. Andre Gervais. Yes, this is a police emergency. This is Commissioner McMillan calling. I'd like the call charged to my office, extension 4321. Remember this a minute. Nurse, may I see Inspector Arnaud's personal effects, please?
Attendez une seconde.
Andre! McMillan! Fine, thank you. How are you? Platinum lighter. Leaf design.
Yes, that's the lighter. Apparently, the inspector found it in someone's apartment. The apartment of someone who was killed.
MG Green. Nothing. Go on.
I visited the jewelry shop this morning. It seems the lighter was one of two items purchased that day by Madame Arnaud. The other was a necklace, also engraved with a leaf design.
Who did you say that was?
Madame Arnaud. Of course, this was some time before she and the inspector were married, so perhaps I should have said Mademoiselle Sinclair. In any event, the necklace was purchased for herself. The lighter was sent out as a gift.
A gift? Do you know to whom? Oh, you're sure? You're not mistaken. Well, all right, thank you. What? Yes, I'll let you know. Yes, thank you, Andre. Goodbye.
He's not mistaken about whose name.
Doctor.
Oh, Commissioner, we got the bullet out. It's gonna be close. We won't know anything for a few hours.
Oh, no, he's tough on you.
Oh, Commissioner. How's the inspector doing?
Well, bullet's out, that's about all. We have to go someplace. Charlie, can you stay here for a while?
I'll be fine.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I got the egg salad that you wanted. They only had tuna fish on egg
Charlie.
bread. There's a submarine in there for me.
Enright.
I couldn't get any pickles.
Make sure no one touches the submarine, Sergeant.
Where are we going?
Ambassador, sorry to bother you again.
Let me do the apologizing, Commissioner. I've been pretty crusty. We heard about Jacques. How is he?
He's out of the operating room. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed.
When does it stop? Are we destroying whole families these days?
Ambassador, we're starting to get some of the answers, but a lot of what we don't know revolves around this lighter. Some time ago, Maggie bought this lighter in Paris. Do you recognize it?
Of course. She sent it to me for my birthday. Must have been 2 or 3 years ago. What is it? I don't understand.
Maggie's murderer had an accomplice. The accomplice ended up with that lighter. How did he get it?
I didn't keep it. The doctor ordered me to stop smoking, so I gave it away.
Come on in. It's not locked.
All right, come in here. Why did you do it? What could you possibly hope to gain?
It wasn't what I had to gain. It's what I stood to lose. My wife was going to leave me. She said I was a loser. I wanted to prove to her she was wrong. You see, with Maggie gone, my wife would have inherited everything. And then, you see, I would have told her I'd killed Maggie. To show her I wasn't weak. And that I'd done it for her. You do see, don't you, Commissioner? I only did it for my wife.
She was right. You are a loser.
Do you know what time it is, Mac?
Time for the rooster to crow.
I'm still wide awake.
Yeah, so am I.
You know, there's one thing I still don't understand. You know the waiter that was killed? Arnie Green?
Angie
Green. How did he get the lighter?
Well, to begin with, he was a compulsive thief. Joyce thought he'd lost it. Green grabbed it when they had one of their meetings.
Alan Joyce. I still can't believe it. He's so mild and inoffensive.
Sometimes those are the people you have to worry about. Killing Maggie gave him a new lease on life.
Boy, when he set that booby trap, he must have been in seventh heaven.
A very sick seventh heaven.
How did he know you were meeting Sable? You know, if Jacques hadn't shown up when he did, you would have been Alan Joyce's third victim. And Sable would have been blamed again.
I think it was merely a lot of pressure building up. Thought it was time to get rid of me.
What's going to happen to Poole?
For one thing, he's got an indictment in the works, plus a new star witness to testify. Sable. Yes. Yes, the hospital. We'll be right there.
Hello, Jacques.
Oh, Sally. Tu vas bien.
Tu vas très bien.
Me too. We did it. We finally worked together. You know, Mac, I was thinking, the night of the party, remember when I told you I had doubts about marriage? You were right. Would have worked out fine.
That's it, Commissioner. I shouldn't have let you in.
Listen, Mildred sends her love, and she says you better hurry up and get better because she's working on a 5-star menu.
Oh, good. She can make up for Fender's fish and chips.
Well, you're not invited. Well, it's still early. You want to go home and cuddle?
Or we can go down to the wharf, have a nice, huge breakfast. Here. Call her.
Tails.
Mildred? What's the matter? Wow, what is it?
Hello.
Commissioner?
Morning, Charlie.
Good morning, sir. Look, I'm sorry to bother you this early, but I thought you should know. What? Last night, sir, Mildred was attacked.
What? Is she all right?
Yes, sir. She's just a little frightened, that's all. The guy got in through the fire escape.
You think it was an attempt to intimidate the jury?
Well, Mildred thinks it was an attempt to rape. But, frankly, sir, I think that's debatable. In any case, Judge Freeman has ordered the entire jury to be moved to the new Stanhope Hotel for the remainder of the trial.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, I think so, sir. All the windows in that place are sealed. It can be guarded like a vault.
Hey, here they come. Hey, look, how do you feel? Confident. Will you appeal it if it goes against you? It's not going to. When are you going to join the team, Luke? As soon as I can. What about your wife? What about it? Well, are you contemplating a divorce? No comment. I will be glad to meet with you when the trial is over.
That's the scene this morning at the county courthouse as Luke Johnson, star running back of the San Francisco Miners, enters Judge Freeman's courtroom for the last day of his trial for the murder of Mo Draper. His attorney, Leon Silver, when questioned by reporters, continued to display public confidence that his client would be acquitted. On the local scene, a citizens group is gearing up for the fight against the resumption of offshore drilling. Spokesperson Vilma Rosinski vows
Mac?
their case.
What?
I'm out of milk.
Well, I'm out of socks.
No, you're not. They're in the lower left-hand drawer right next to my nightgowns.
coming Sunday's game between the Miners and the Bears looks like a mismatch if there ever was one. The Miners are having their troubles, and the Bears have fielded one of their strongest teams in a decade. If you're a Miners fan, better wait till next year. In NBA action last night, the Lakers edged the Warriors 110 to 107. Portland walloped the Bucks 120.
Sally, nothing in this house has been right since Mildred left.
Oh, she'll be back in a few days.
A few days? She's been gone 3 weeks.
Well, how would it have looked for the police commissioner's housekeeper not to serve on jury duty?
And how do you think it looks when a police commissioner's shirt is missing a button? Look at this. Mildred sewed 2 buttons on this cuff and none on this.
Well, she was kind of nervous before she left. She's never been on jury duty before.
But while we're on the subject, what were my black socks doing with your nightgown?
Oh, I put them there so I could find them. You know how my feet get cold when I'm pregnant?
You're the only woman I've ever known who wears black socks to bed.
I wish you'd stop comparing me to your other girlfriends. Especially when the toaster's busted again.
Pull the plug.
Oh, my eggs, Mac. Just when I wanted you to have a good breakfast.
Hey, that's okay. I'm not hungry yet.
Oh, you are too.
All right, I'm hungry, but I'm just trying to be nice. I'll settle for a nice hot cup of
No milk.
black coffee. Sally!
Don't yell. I'm a pregnant person.
What's a pregnant person got to do with forgetting to plug in the coffee?
We switch now to a live report from the county.
Mildred!
Where?
Here.
Standing by. Larry?
Thanks, Tom. There is an unmistakable air of tension this morning as the jury members in the Luke Johnson murder trial file into Judge Freeman's courtroom for the 23rd day to hear final arguments before starting their deliberations.
She doesn't look as if she's been raped.
What?
Now for the weather.
Well, somebody broke into her room last night.
You're kidding. Is she all right?
Oh, yeah. She was able to scare him off. Uh-oh, 15 minutes late.
Windy temperatures in the high 60s to low 70s with a low pressure system promising definite possibility of rain in the Bay Area. And that's it. Have a good day. I'll see you tonight on the 6 o'clock news.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have sat very patiently day after day listening to Mr. Silver trying to becloud the basic issue of this case. Now, he's continually raised the specter of reasonable doubt, stating that the case against his client is purely one of circumstantial evidence. All right, let's take a look at some simple, provable facts. A score of witnesses, 10 minutes before Mo Draper was brutally beaten and shot, heard Luke Johnson threaten Mr. Draper's life. Now, that's a fact. A few minutes after that, Mo Draper left the party they were attending and was followed outside by Luke Johnson, and that's a fact. Just 5 minutes after that, Mo Draper was found shot to death in the parking lot of the restaurant where the party was being held. That's a fact.
Juror number 9. Second row. Dark hair, glasses. He's
Now,
going
a
to
short
give us
time
trouble, I
after
think.
that, Luke Johnson was arrested at his home, where he was assaulting his wife in a dispute over her alleged affections for Mo Draper. You've heard testimony here that the bullets which killed Mo Draper came from a .22 caliber handgun. You also heard testimony establishing the fact that Luke Johnson owned a .22 caliber pistol. Those are facts, ladies and gentlemen. Plain and simple facts. But when Mr. Johnson was asked to produce the weapon, he could not do so. To this day, it has not been found. Now, Mr. Silver here would ask us to believe that somebody stole Luke Johnson's gun and murdered Mo Draper. But I suggest to you that Luke Johnson murdered Mo Draper and then disposed of the gun himself. Now, we have established beyond doubt motive, means, and method. Now, you, ladies and gentlemen, have a responsibility to yourselves, to your neighbors, to your community. Find Luke Johnson guilty of murder in the 2nd degree.
Pompous ass. Now, Your Honor, if it please the court, it's very nearly lunchtime, and I, for one, would like to digest the district attorney's remarks before starting on my own.
Very well. Court is recessed until 2 o'clock.
Hi, this is Sally McMillan. If you're an obscene phone caller, you're out of luck. Neither I nor what's-his-name is home right now. If you care to leave a message, however, wait for the little beep. It should be coming up momentarily.
Sally, this is your favorite obscene phone caller. When you hear the little beep, I shall commence my heavy breathing. Beep.
Calling the wife again, sir?
Don't you ever knock?
Sorry. But you did say you wanted to see the police report on the break into Mildred's room last night. Nothing was stolen, sir, so apparently it wasn't robbery.
Did you get a look at him?
No, sir. Now, the man started to smother her, and then he stopped suddenly, ran back out onto the fire escape.
Sounds like a setup to me. An attempt to scare the jury and cause a mistrial.
Mm-hmm. Well, their new quarters are break-in proof, sir. They're on the 7th floor, and there's no way in or out of any of the rooms without passing the guard stations.
Good.
Sir? Are you aware that you have on 2 different colored socks?
Well, with Mildred on the jury for the last 3 weeks, I can take solace in the fact that I can find any socks at all.
You know, sir, I solved that problem years ago.
Oh?
Well, I threw out my bureau and I replaced it with a filing cabinet.
I don't think a filing cabinet would go with Sally's bedroom decor.
Oh. Well, it may not be aesthetic, sir, but it's very efficient. You see, I file my socks under S, and my T-shirts under T, and my shorts under B, and my tie...
B?
Boxers, sir.
Oh.
Well, I find them infinitely preferable to the other type. It's all a matter of taste, sir.
Well, if you have to sit all day, you know. Hello?
Hi, Mac, listen, I just got home from shopping and I turned on the dishwasher and it's busted again. That repairman was terrible. Do you know he charged me $16 for that thing?
Mildred will fix it.
She can't fix it.
Oh, that's right. She's not there.
Mac, what am I gonna do? It's smoking all over the place. Every single dish in the house is in it and I can't get the thing open. I think we're gonna have to go out to dinner again tonight.
Again? We've been out every night this week.
Well, we've gotta eat.
Well, I'll stop and pick up some fried chicken or something. And meanwhile, unplug the dishwasher.
Oh, that's a good idea. And then listen, I think after that I'll go upstairs and have a good cry.
Good idea. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
And at any point in your deliberations, should you need to refresh yourselves on any of the evidence or the testimony, simply let the bailiff know, and he will make the transcripts available to you. The bailiff will now escort you to the jury room.
Ladies and gentlemen, and others, so a Milton Berle I'm not. However, we got to have a jury foreman, so I nominate myself.
I second the nomination, Mr. Pearl.
Thank you, Mildred. I'm honored. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? So be it. So let's debate.
Mr. Pearl, I think before you begin, we might poll the members and see if there's anything to debate.
Yeah, she's right. That's a fine idea, Miss Jerome. And since I'm foreman, I may as well go on record as being for acquittal. I don't think that the district attorney proved his case. Mrs. Farmer?
Well, if you ask me, he's innocent of all charges.
Mr. Davis?
I gotta vote innocent, at least for now.
Mrs. Potts?
I just don't think that young man is a killer. That's all. Not guilty.
Mr. Franks?
I vote not guilty.
Mrs. Burke?
Not guilty.
Mr. Lopez.
Not guilty.
Mr. Simon.
A definite not guilty.
Miss Jerome.
Innocent.
Mrs. Delgado.
Not guilty.
I think we may be going home early. Mr. Ryan.
Guilty.
Guilty?
Is he kidding? How can he say that?
Well, he just opens his mouth and moves his lips. Works every time.
Mr. Ryan, you can't convict if there's reasonable doubt.
At this point, Mr. Lopez, I have no reasonable doubt.
And you have no sense if you say that boy is guilty.
Man's got a right to his opinion. That's what we're here for.
A point well taken, Mr. Davis.
That's baloney. What does that guy know? A professional football player. Now, what would he go around killing people for?
Sure, especially when he can do it every Sunday legally.
Oh, listen to her, would you?
No, I would
Listen, wait a minute.
Mr. Ryan
Will you just a minute, please? Why don't we just all go back to the hotel, have a nice dinner, a good night's sleep, and tackle this thing fresh in the morning?
It's the smartest thing I've heard so far.
Do we have to?
Well, we've been here 3 weeks already. Is another day gonna kill us?
Me, it'll kill. But I guess you're right.
Well, at least we agree on something.
Hello. Okay, thanks. Mike?
Yeah?
Coming up. Hiya, folks. Michael, sign in. I'll take your dinner orders. The chef recommends steak or fish.
Well, for Mr. Ryan, I recommend heartburn. For myself, I'll have fish.
Okay.
One good flounder deserves another. I'll have the steak, salad with French dressing, iced tea, hold the mayo.
Bad day, huh?
Listen, we sat 6 hours in the jury box, another hour in the jury room, and I look forward to sitting in my room having my dinner. Without TV or radio or telephone, maybe I can break up the monotony by going to bed. Maybe I'll get attacked again.
Oh, no way, Mildred. Not in this place.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, Mr. Pearl.
How are you? I would like the fish, but it shouldn't be too dry, huh?
Okay.
And I would like a nice salad.
Salad, sure.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, Miss Jerome.
Hi, Jerry.
How's the book?
Terrific.
Oh, hello, plastic room.
Okay. Thanks, fellas. Hey, Mike, why don't you stay on the desk? Let me play waiter. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, Mildred, you're a vision.
Thanks. I love you, too. Put it on the desk over there, okay?
Well, it's a hung jury. 7 of you went for the steak and 5 got fish.
Oh, yeah? Well, listen, what do you say after dinner we play a couple of hands of strip pinochle?
Not tonight. Miss Jerome has a better offer. She wants me to play post office.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you get tired licking stamps, let me know.
Yeah, I will. Hello?
Yes, this is Virginia Ryan.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to talk to Tom Ryan, if I may. Is he awake?
No, I think they're all asleep by now.
It's rather important. His father's taken a turn for the worse, and his doctor's thinking of hospitalizing him.
Gee, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know Tom must be exhausted from the trial.
No, that's all right. I'll wake him and tell him.
I'd appreciate it. And if he's allowed, I'd like to talk to him.
I'll tell him.
Thank you so much.
Good night, Mrs. Ryan. Mr. Ryan?
Mr. Ryan, open up.
Try the door.
Locked.
He's dead. He's been shot. Call it in, will you?
Move, man, move it!
Mac, when Mildred gets back and before we have the baby, let's take the weekend off.
Where to?
I was thinking Las Vegas might be kind of fun.
You always lose the food money at blackjack.
I know, but you always win it back at the crack table.
I'd rather go to a nice deserted beach somewhere
How about Hawaii?
for the weekend.
Well, we could take the whole week. Amy Switzer was telling me about this place that she went to. She said it was just fabulous.
How much?
210
That's not bad.
a day.
That's bad.
Do you feel like getting that?
Not a lot.
I don't either, and you're closer.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Charlie, do you know what time it is?
10:45. I'm sorry to bust in like this, but there's been a murder. One of the jurors on the Luke Johnson case.
Oh, my Lord. How's Mildred?
Oh, she's fine. She's
Who
fine.
was it?
It was a man called Tom Ryan Jr., sir.
Oh, I know his father.
I know you do.
Well, that's why I came by, sir. Plus the incident involving Mildred last night.
I'll get my jacket.
I'll get it.
Don't forget your shoes, sir.
I don't know why you insisted on coming here with us.
Mildred must be petrified. She's gonna need me.
For what? To hang around the lobby?
Well, I won't get in the way upstairs, I promise.
You have to stay down here. It's still an impaneled jury.
Oh. Well, will you give Mildred my love?
I will.
Okay, I'll see you. I'll be in the lounge.
Okay.
Oh, Commissioner, I'm glad to see you. Listen, he was such a nice young man. He was under lock and key here. Now, last night I can
understand a word you're saying.
I said last night I can understand, but in this hotel it just couldn't happen.
Well, it did.
Well, you've got to solve it. Everybody's scared out of their wits. They feel if it can happen to one, it can happen to anybody.
All right, let me get in there and find out the details.
It's room 720. Oh, yeah.
Sam?
Evening, Commissioner.
What?
We got a 2-hour-old corpse, give or take. Rigor mortis is just setting in. I needed this like a hole in the head. I got 3 steps downtown I can't get to.
Well, I think they'll wait for you, Sam. What else?
He shot twice in the back below the rib cage. Cause of death, loss of blood, massive dysfunction of his kidneys.
If he died 2 hours ago, how come the blood's still wet?
That's fluidity. As the blood settles to the lowest point in the body, it continues to seep out.
All right. I want a complete report on my desk in the morning.
Oh, Commissioner, give me a break.
I just did. I'm not asking for it tonight.
It is very curious, sir.
What?
Well, the way this place is set up, no one could have gone in or come out of this room without being seen by those 2 guards. And the door was locked from the inside.
What about the windows?
2 sealed panes of glass. There's not a window in this entire hotel that opens.
The room has been searched, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. It's been searched. The closets, the john. There's no sign of a weapon anywhere.
You did talk to the guards?
Yeah, I got the statements a couple of minutes ago.
I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask him.
Officer, can I see you for a moment?
Which one of you found the body?
Well, actually, sir, we both found him. I broke the door in, and Mike here phoned the police.
What were you doing in his room in the first place?
A phone call came in at 10:30, and when I took the message in, we found him. It was a call from Mr. Ryan's stepmother.
Could I hear the tape?
Yeah, sure, sir. The calls are automatically recorded when they come in, and then I transfer them into the book according to what time they came and who called.
Yes, this is Virginia Ryan.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to talk to Tom Ryan, if I may. Is he awake?
No, I think they're all asleep by now.
Well, it's rather important. His father's taken a turn for the worse, and his doctor's thinking of hospitalizing him.
Gee, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know Tom must be exhausted from the trial.
No, that's all right. I'll wake him and tell him.
I'd appreciate it. And if he's allowed, I'd like to talk to him.
I'll tell him.
Thank you so much.
Good night, Mrs. Ryan.
As you know, Commissioner, we record all calls coming in so as to avoid any possibility of pressure or threats to the jury members.
Well, it didn't work very well, did it?
No, I guess not, sir.
Is there any possibility of gaining access to the room without being spotted?
I don't see how, Commissioner. Jerry here was in Miss Jerome's room from about 7:45 to 8:15 or so, but I was on the desk the whole time.
Miss Jerome, who's...
Miss Jerome is a jury member who's also a freelance writer. She's writing a book about the trial, and she wanted to interview me.
I'll bet.
Commissioner, I feel terrible about this. It probably wouldn't have happened if I hadn't left my desk.
I doubt if it would have made any difference. You say you never left the desk?
No, sir. Mr. Mordani, the house detective, can vouch for that. He was up here shooting the breeze till past 9 o'clock.
Okay, well, I may want to talk to you boys again.
Anytime, Commissioner.
Commissioner, this is Mr. Pearl, our jury foreman.
Terrible thing, Commissioner. Indeed.
And this is Mr. Mordanti, the house dick.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Commissioner. I'm Director of Internal Security here at the hotel. If there's anything I can do for you, anything at all, anything you want to know, please call me, okay? Nino Mordanti. Mordanti.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Mordanti. Mildred, will you be all right?
Commissioner, can't I come home tonight?
You're an impaneled jurist, Mildred.
Well, can't you get me unpaneled? I mean, somebody could get killed around here. Somebody did get killed around here.
A terrible thing.
I'm sorry, Mildred, but until the judge decides the disposition of the case, you'll all have to stay here under guard.
A lot of good that'll do.
You got nothing to worry about, Commissioner. Mildred is in the best of hands. Your concern, my concern. Mordanti protects. It's a very personal motto.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mordanti.
Think nothing of it.
No, he won't.
Mildred, try not to worry. I'll have guards posted in and outside of this hotel all night, even up on the roof. You'll all feel perfectly safe, I promise.
Thank you.
You know that if you were 14 inches taller, I could go for you?
Yeah, and if a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his keister when he jumped off a log.
Yeah. Well, good night, Mildred. Mr. Pearl, Mr. Mordanti.
Commissioner.
I know. A terrible thing.
Terrible.
Commissioner. Commissioner, you were right. I've just been talking to some of the other jurors, and I think we have found a motive for murder.
What's that?
Well, according to them, the first vote that was taken in the jury room, Mr. Ryan was the only person who voted guilty.
Well, if that's a motive, then either the jury room was bugged by somebody on the outside, or one of the jurists killed Tom Ryan.
Well, I'll have that jury room checked for a bug tonight, sir.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Ever been to Seattle?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you have to come up there as my guest. You've heard of our needle
What needle?
from the fair.
Oh, that needle. Yes.
So, we're all down here for this sales convention. But I gotta be honest, the other guys may be having a blast, but me, well, it's tough to have a good time when you're feeling as lonely as I feel. You don't know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean.
I knew you would. I sensed that from you right off. I feel as if I somehow know you. Do you share that feeling?
Definitely. It's as though, well, it's as though I know exactly what you're going to say, even before you say it.
I've never done this before. But would you like to see my suit?
Well, I can see your suit. It's very nice.
Oh, not this suit. My suit of rooms on the 6th floor.
That's sweet.
Thank you. You're sweet, too.
Excuse me, miss, but, is this gentleman your husband?
No, he's just an acquaintance.
Well, I'm operating on a very tight schedule. Now, are you going to spend the night with me in this hotel or not?
Hey, wait a minute.
Yes, I think I'd like that very much.
Well, let's go then. We haven't got all night.
You're pregnant.
You noticed.
Oh, Commissioner, I'm glad I caught up with you. Well, I came in your car, and my car's back in your place, so could you give me a lift?
We're just leaving.
Hey, Mac,
He knows your name.
I just want to tell you, you got a lot of nerve taking advantage of a lady in that condition.
Well, actually, I'm the lady's brother.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I'm Bernini Mussolino.
Well, good night, Sergeant. Good night, Mayor.
Good night. I'll see you in a little while. We're going to have a little snack. Come on, Charlie.
Okay.
Well, here, why don't you do the eggs? I'll do the onions.
I hope, Commissioner, that this isn't too much trouble for you.
Not at all.
Sir, do you think that this murder and the attack on Mildred last night are interrelated?
Oh, I don't think so. Could be.
Well, this is not going to be an easy case.
I know.
In fact, I've never seen anything quite like it, sir. According to all the available evidence, it didn't happen. There was no way.
I know.
All the doors locked from the inside. There was always a guard on duty. None of the rooms connect.
I know.
Do you think Luke Johnson did it?
It's doubtful. Because if he knew Tom Ryan voted guilty, he'd know that the other 11 jurors voted not guilty. He'd also have to assume that the odds would be in favor of an eventual acquittal. And a murdered juror would probably result in a mistrial. And I don't think he wants to go through all that again.
And it was someone else. Someone who doesn't want to see Luke Johnson back in uniform this season.
For any other season, for that matter.
Oh, sir, don't feel so bad. It isn't hopeless.
I'm crying because I peeled an onion, not because I can't solve the case.
You mean you can solve the case?
I didn't say that. Charlie.
Yes, sir?
Do you realize you just cracked 14 eggs?
I hope you're hungry.
After carefully weighing the alternatives, I feel there is no choice but to declare a mistrial. Under the circumstances, it would not make sense to replace the deceased with an alternate. The case has been irrevocably prejudiced due to the implied threat to the entire jury, and I am loath to even set a new date for trial until this tragic murder has been solved. It is the court's hope that Mr. Ryan's murder is solved with dispatch. This kind of threat to our very system of trial by jury will not be tolerated. With deep thanks and heartfelt regrets, the jury is hereby dismissed.
Of course I'm upset by last night's murder. What are you going to do now? Are you kidding? What can I do? Whatever happens, there's no way I'll be able to play out the rest of the season.
Will you appeal to the commissioner of football?
The Commissioner's office has made it quite clear that under no circumstances will Luke's suspension be lifted until this entire matter has been resolved. Now, gentlemen, if you'll excuse us.
Could I ask one more question?
I appreciate this impromptu meeting, Stuart. How have you been?
Can't complain, Leon. What can I do for you?
Luke?
Commissioner, I don't know if you've been following my case.
I'm familiar with it, of course.
Well, I didn't kill Mo Draper.
Well, that's up to the jury to decide.
I know that. But the way it looks now, unless this new murder is solved, and fast, I'm finished in the pros.
You were suspended, not banned.
Well, Luke's lost a half season already, Stewart. He could wind up losing a whole year.
A running back, if he's lucky, has maybe 5 or 6 years before some faster, stronger, tougher kid comes along and bumps you out of a job. I've never begged for anything in my life before, but I'm begging you now. Please catch this guy, fast.
According to your statement last night, you were home all evening.
That's right.
But you can't prove it.
No, sir, I can't. But I'm asking you, if it was you on trial, and you had every reason to believe the jury was going to acquit, would you kill the one guy who was voting against you?
How did you know he voted against you?
Well, that's my fault, I'm afraid, Stewart. You've been there. You get so you can read a jury, and I knew Ryan was going to give us some trouble. Well, I told Luke as much.
I guarantee you, Commissioner, you catch the guy that killed Ryan, and you got the guy that killed Mo Draper.
Well, needless to say, Luke, I intend to get to the bottom of Mr. Ryan's murder. No matter who gets hurt.
Okay. Now, we better take off, Luke.
Okay.
Thank you for seeing us, Stewart. What do you think, Commissioner?
I think Leon Silver's one hell of a good attorney. He wants me on their side, so he took the direct route.
Well, they sold me. I don't think Luke Johnson is guilty of murder.
Which one?
Neither one.
Lord, we commend unto thy hands the soul of thy faithful servant, Thomas Ryan, Jr. And we pray you will bless him and bestow upon him thy everlasting bounty. Amen.
Mrs. Ryan, I'm Sally McMillan.
I'm Mrs. Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. You must be Stuart McMillan.
I wish we were meeting under less tragic circumstances, Mrs. Ryan. Thomas?
Celia, would you take Mr. Ryan to the car, please?
Yes, ma'am.
He had a series of debilitating strokes since you last saw him.
I didn't know that.
Thomas Jr.'s death, I'm just afraid that he'll lose his will to live.
I know this must be a difficult time for you, Mrs. Ryan.
It is. We're all going to miss Thomas Jr. terribly. Oh, he was such a fine, strong man. He had such high ideals. Just like his father. So ironic that those ideals were what killed him. We tried to talk him out of going on jury duty. It certainly would have been easy enough to arrange. He said no. He felt he had a responsibility to go through with it.
Sometimes it seems to me the whole world must be going crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Thomas, you always were a fighter. Don't let this beat you. Be strong.
Mac, I don't know how much longer I have. Find my son's killer before I die. I want justice.
I'll do my best, Thomas. I promise.
What are you thinking about, Mac?
Last time I saw Tom Ryan Sr. He was a big man then, full of energy. Started with nothing, amassed a fortune in private aircraft business. I lost track of him for a while. A couple couple years ago, he called me and told me he remarried. Said he had everything. Wife loved him. Son taking over more and more of the business successfully. Looking forward to the future with such enthusiasm. And now this.
You know, Virginia Ryan seems to be an admirable woman, doesn't she?
Will you take care of me when I'm old and gray?
I don't know. You're not as rich as Tom Ryan Sr.
On the other hand, Miss Cynical.
Ms. Cynical.
On the other hand, I didn't make you sign a binding premarital agreement cutting you out of the family fortune.
Tom Ryan did.
Virginia married him because she loved him.
Well, that's why I married you.
Go on, you married me for my money.
You didn't have a nickel in savings when I married you.
We still don't have a nickel in savings.
Yes, but look how much higher our standard of living is.
This thing was jammed with breadcrumbs. Ought to work now.
What about the dishwasher?
Well, the starter button's busted on that. I'll go to work on that tomorrow.
Mildred, you're fantastic.
I'd like to think so.
Evening, ladies.
Hi, Commissioner. Listen, I have a roast beef sandwich waiting. Would you like to have it?
I'd love it. Mildred, it's good to have you home again.
Oh, it's nice to be had, Commissioner.
Well, this was delivered by messenger. It's the Luke Johnson trial transcript.
It's awfully fat.
1,028 pages.
They have the Classics Illustrated version.
You can always wait and see the movie.
Hey, Commissioner, you remember that house Dick Mordanti?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should hear some of the cockamamie ideas he has about this case.
I know. He called the office 3 times today.
Yeah, we started to call here, too.
Well, at this point, I'm ready to listen to anybody.
That's tough, huh?
I'm stymied. Nothing adds up.
He's asked me out to dinner tomorrow.
Dinner, huh?
Well, I know he's not exactly a brain trust, but who am I to turn down a freebie, you know?
There's one thing I don't understand. Why the gun never turned up.
Which gun?
I'm talking about the gun that killed Mo Draper. Now, the DA claimed that it was owned by Luke Johnson, but it never showed up.
Boy, if I was the murderer, the first thing I'd do is ditch the weapon.
I know, but it says here that between the time that Luke Johnson allegedly killed Mo Draper and the time that he was arrested, only 20 minutes elapsed.
Well, that's plenty of time to hide one teeny-weeny little gun.
Yeah, but the police searched a 5-square-mile area around the Johnson house, and they couldn't find a thing.
Well, maybe Luke's gun was stolen before the murder by somebody who wanted to frame him.
Which is exactly the case that Luke's attorney's trying to make. Oh, this cream soda. Mildred, you know I don't like cream soda.
Well, there was a wonderful sale at the supermarket, and I couldn't resist it. I bought 2 cases.
There are 4 down in the garage now from the last sale you couldn't resist.
Boy, home 2 days and already the honeymoon is over.
And the bread isn't even brown yet.
Better to pop up prematurely than not at all, right, Commissioner?
Mac, what about Andrew Brill?
President of the football team?
Mm-hmm. You know, Luke Johnson's been playing for the Miners for 3 years, and for 3 years he has feuded with Andrew Brill about money. Everybody knows he's going to play out his option this year and the next year sign with another team.
I didn't know that.
Mildred, it's right here in the trial transcript. You were there, remember?
Oh, yeah. I was just testing you to see if you'd read it carefully.
Anyway, from what I know about Andrew Brill, he would destroy one of his players before he'd let him go to another team.
Yeah, I ought to do it.
Mildred, are you all right?
I think I did something wrong.
Thanks.
Gentlemen, a little more spirit, please. I know it's only practice, but Big Brother's watching.
Football players are a subhuman species, Commissioner. Big, dumb, money-hungry, and violent.
And now for the bad news.
It's like running a zoo. You have to keep them on a short leash and let them know who's boss, otherwise they'll bite your arm off at the elbow. As far as I'm concerned, they're meat.
Well, if that's so, Mr. Brill, you've got a lot of filet mignon down there.
Sally, may I call you Sally?
Please.
You're delightful. Commissioner, I may not care for football players, but I have an abiding love and respect for women.
If you dislike the players so much, why do you stay in the business?
Because I love the money and the power.
Not to mention the notoriety.
Oh, that too. I've been accused of being arbitrary, tyrannical, cheapest man with a buck in pro football. I feuded with everyone at one time or another.
Well, You must have done something right. The directors would have ousted you long ago.
That gutless bunch are the least of my problems. I own 40% of the stock in the miners. The rest of them own 60, but they've never been able to stop fighting among themselves long enough to get rid of me.
Well, before they do, you'll have to invite us over to watch a game from your box. It's the most perfect view in the stadium.
You're welcome. Any and every Sunday, Sally, with or without your husband.
I'm going down to the field. I'd like to talk to one of your running backs, Carter Lewis. Do you mind?
Oh. Only if you leave your wife with me as a captive.
Who is captive of whom remains to be seen.
Mr. Brill.
Call me Andy.
Andy. I have been following football from grade school through high school and college. I've been a fan of the Miners for I don't know how many years, and I know the stats on every single player down there on the field.
That's more than I can say for the coaching staff.
Mr. Urbanowski?
Yeah, who are you?
Police Commissioner McMillan.
Oh, how you doing? Nice to meet you, sir.
Likewise, Mr. Urbanowski.
Just call me Coach. Everybody calls me Coach, even my wife.
Well, Coach, I wonder if I could talk to one of your players for a minute or two. Carter Lewis.
Sure thing. Hey, Lewis, come here a minute. You ever play football, Commissioner?
Oh, saw him in college.
Tight end, right?
How'd you guess?
Well, you're really not big enough for defense, but it looks like you got good speed.
Had speed.
Ain't it the truth? Carter, this is Commissioner of Police McMillan. He wants to talk to you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
What's a big shot dude like you want to talk to me for?
It's about Luke Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
I need some information.
Well, I'm sorry, Jim. I don't know nothing about nothing, you know?
I've done some research on you, Mr. Lewis.
No fooling.
No fooling. Phi Beta Kappa at North Carolina. Master's degree in speech therapy. Save your act for Howard Cosell.
It's just that I'm tired of being bugged with questions about Luke Johnson. You know, I just want to be left alone.
I've got 2 murders on my hands, Mr. Lewis. It's not my job to leave people alone.
Yeah, well, I've got my hands full trying to hold on to my job.
You were second string until Luke Johnson was suspended, is that right?
So what?
Well, if you were acquitted, you'd lose that job suddenly that you're trying so hard to hang on to.
Man, you are really something.
I already know where you were when Mo Draper was murdered. Can you verify your whereabouts when Tom Ryan was murdered?
Well, I'm in training. I went home early and I went to bed. No, I can't prove it. Besides, I don't have to. As far as I'm concerned, I am the starting back for the San Francisco Miners. And if Luke Johnson were to come back tomorrow, he would have to win the position from me. And you know, I just like that fine. Because I think the guy is overrated. And I'd like nothing better than a chance to prove it.
Well, it's academic at this point anyway, isn't it? As long as Luke Johnson's a suspect, you don't have anything to worry about.
I don't have anything to worry about anyway. Everybody knows he was going to play out his option and quit the team this season. Look, I've got work to do, man.
You've got a pretty tough reputation, don't you, Andy?
True. But I like to think I'm also a fair man.
Except when it comes to contracts, right?
Well, I found that my judgment of what's fair often conflicts with those who work for me. But football is a business. And like other businesses, you have to remain cost-conscious at all times.
Do you renegotiate the contracts personally?
No, I let my general manager, Buddy Stone, do that. But general managers are a dime a dozen. If they don't toe the mark for me, they're out.
Ready, Sally?
Uh-huh.
Hi, Commissioner. I was telling your wife. This Sunday, I insist you come as my guest.
Oh, thank you. We'd love to.
And, Commissioner, if there's anything I can do to help you with your investigation, let me know.
I'll do that.
See, whatever my personal feelings toward Luke, I do have a sense of justice. And if he's been wrongfully accused, he deserves to be cleared.
Andy, Oh, excuse me.
No, come in. Mrs. McMillan, Commissioner McMillan, this is Buddy Stone, my general manager.
How do you do?
This week. Always keep them on their toes, huh, Sally? Only way to run an airline.
Gee, that looks nice.
Oh, thank you. You in the business?
No, just an avid window shopper.
Well, I'm almost through here. Can I show you something in the store?
Are you Lena Johnson?
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
I should have known. Reporter.
No, I'm not. My name is Sally McMillan. My husband's Stuart McMillan. He's the commissioner of police.
Well, Mrs. McMillan, I don't mean to be rude, but I have nothing to say to you.
I don't believe that Luke killed Mo Draper. I know that if we can solve the murder of that juror the other night, that maybe we can prove it.
We?
Well, I take an active interest in my husband's work.
My husband thought I took too much interest in his.
Can you think of anyone that would go so far as to kill a juror in order to keep Luke from playing out this season with the team?
There's only one man I know crazy enough to go that far. Andrew Brill.
How did I know that you were going to say that?
He and Luke have feuded over money ever since Luke was drafted by the miners. He even refused to renegotiate Luke's contract. I don't work here because I like to. I do it because I have to.
Luke never renegotiated his contract?
Nope. And when Luke told Brill that he was going to play out his option and quit the team, Brill threatened to ruin Luke. Oh, we didn't think anything about it, though, because we knew Luke could go to any team he wanted to.
Well, naturally.
And then Mo was killed, and, well, you know the rest.
Have you talked to your husband since the trial began?
No. I think he still believes I was having an affair with Mo. No, I wasn't. But Luke always thought I was having an affair with someone. When he was on the road, he'd call me, and if I wasn't home, he'd go crazy. But if I was home, he'd accuse me of having someone there. Damned if I did, and damned if I didn't. Even if this thing with Mo hadn't happened, I don't think we could have stayed together.
Lena, I appreciate your having talked to me. I know everything's gonna work out.
I hope so, Mrs.
Bye-bye. How many times have I told you?
You know, it never ceases to amaze me.
What's that?
Every time I want to talk to somebody, you always beat me to the punch.
Pure coincidence.
Ha!
I was walking on my way to lunch, and I just happened to bump into Lena Johnson.
In a window display?
Do you want to know what she told me or not?
Why, yes.
She and Luke are absolutely broke.
Paying Leon Silver's attorney fees would break a lot of people.
Before that, Andrew Brill flatly refuses to renegotiate Luke's contract. That's why Lena's had to keep working to make ends meet. Either Leon Silver has taken Luke on as a charity case, or somebody else is footing that bill.
From what I know of Leon Silver, he wouldn't pay a jaywalking ticket for his mother.
So much for charity. Boy, am I hungry. Do you want to have some lunch?
Yeah, I know a neat hot dog place right down the road.
I have told you so many times that stuff is terrible for you. Let's go to Clean Mind, Clean Body.
A gymnasium to eat?
It's a health food restaurant. It's terrific.
Yuck. What are you doing after lunch?
I'm going shopping.
Sally?
I really am.
Before talking with Leon Silver or after?
You're amazing. You read my mind.
2 veggie burgers, a side of slaw, and ice-cold carrot juice.
Mind boggles. I don't know why you were...
I don't know how you can keep drinking carrot juice. I mean...
Hey, mister, watch your step, huh?
Hey, wait a minute. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Hey, Joey, you mind if he asks me a question?
No, go ahead.
How do you install one of these windows? Is it difficult?
Not if you know what you're doing, no. Put the window in the frame using this suction gizmo. Seal it up around the edges, pull the gizmo.
And, you remove the window the same way?
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
I see. Well, thank you very much.
Anytime. Hey, listen, just take a card, just in case you need
Oh,
some window.
no, that's okay.
Take it, I'm telling you. You never know when a window might break on you. Yeah, just a second. Hold this a second. Here. Here, hold that. Joe, give me a card. I'm all out.
Again?
Come on.
Do you believe this?
Come on. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Here you go, pal.
Do you want to take this first?
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Anytime.
It's so dignified. It's like a museum. I always whisper in museums. May I help you?
Yes, we'd like to see Mr. Silver.
Do you have an appointment?
No, but would you tell him Stuart McMillan, Commissioner of Police, would like a few moments of his time?
Oh, Commissioner, excuse me. I didn't recognize you. I'll just tell him you're here.
Thank you.
Should she have recognized you?
Your Honor, I swear I've never seen that woman before in my life.
I'll see you now.
Mac, come on in. It's good to see you.
Nice to know that everybody around here isn't a whisperer.
Well, I'm the whisperee.
I don't believe you've met my wife.
Oh, no, I'm afraid I've never had that pleasure before.
Sally, this is Leon Silver.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Please sit down.
Thank you.
Hello, Mac. I'm honored. I think in all the years we've known each other, this is the first time I've ever had the pleasure of a visit from you.
That's right.
What do you think?
Very nice.
I think it's one of the most beautiful offices I've ever seen.
Why, thank you. Please feel free to look around.
I think it will.
I am rather proud of it. It's taken me years to get it just right. Oh, I've just had lunch. Can I order you some?
No, thank you. We've eaten.
Well, is this a purely social visit, Stuart?
No.
I thought as much. What can I do for you?
Who's paying you for Luke Johnson's legal fees?
Well, you might say that I'm representing Mr. Johnson out of a love for the game of football.
I might, but I won't.
Well, I don't suppose there's any reason for secrecy about it. A good part of the tab is being paid by Buddy Stone, the general manager of the team. And the rest is in the form of an IOU signed by Luke Johnson.
Isn't Stone's generosity a bit excessive? I mean, what with Luke's announcement of quitting the team?
Well, I've known Buddy Stone for years, ever since his playing days with the Bears. And he's the only friend the players have. At best, Andrew Brill's attitude can be described as contemptible.
Why does he stay with Brill?
That's a good question. I've advised Buddy to quit many times, but he's concerned with the players' welfare, both on the field and off. And I might add that without him, there'd be mutiny on the team.
You said that Luke signed an IOU.
Yes, that's right. Payable when he's exonerated.
You must mean if he's exonerated.
Oh, he will be, my dear. He will be. I haven't lost a case in years.
Hello, sir. Mrs. McMillan?
Hi, Sergeant.
Did you find the information?
Yes, sir. The windows of this hotel are washed on a continuous basis, and they have a permanent electrical scaffolding up on the roof.
Is that how Tom Ryan was killed?
I don't know, but it's worth looking into. You ever ridden up on a scaffolding?
No, sir.
Well, there's always the first time. Did you bring your dusting kit?
Yes, sir. One of the lab men lent it to me.
Good. Then let's go up on the roof.
I'm getting kind of hungry. I think I'll wait for you guys in the coffee shop.
You just had lunch.
What can I tell you? See you later.
I wish I could eat like that.
Commissioner. Commissioner, I've been calling you for days.
No kidding.
Yes, no, I'm not kidding. I keep getting your secretary, your Mildred.
Well, the office has been pretty hectic.
Yeah, that's all right. I know how busy you must be, except that I think I've cracked your case for you.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Uh-huh. Well, why don't you ride up to the roof with us and you can tell us about it?
All right.
Decide what you want, miss?
Yep. Swiss cheese, lettuce, and tomato, rye down, and hold the mayo.
I got you.
Hey, can you remember the night of the murder?
Does a duck have feathers? I was on the night shift. I am the guy that prepared all those dinners for the jurors. I tell you, it was a miserable night all around. Yeah, Chester died that night.
What a shame. Who was Chester?
My dog, a terrier.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry.
Well, what can you do? He was an old guy. He led a good life. He had his own bed. A girlfriend next door, I died soon. I should be so lucky.
You must have loved him very much.
Yeah.
How'd he die?
The vet said poison. He probably got into the neighbor's gopher traps.
You know what you've got to do? Go right down to the pound and get yourself another little puppy.
I've been thinking about it, but I don't know. You just don't replace a loved one in a minute. You know what I mean?
It's really quite obvious once you break the case down into its componencies.
Componencies?
Right. Now follow this, Commissioner. Someone in the kitchen, right?
Okay.
Okay, now this alleged someone hides a gun on one of the dinner cards, and it's sent up to the 9th floor along with the rest of the jurors' dinner orders. In the meantime, the maid has been hiding in Tom Ryan's room all day. Are you with me?
Avidly.
All right. Now, the dinner tray is delivered to the victim's room. The maid takes the gun off the tray, shoots the juror in the back twice, puts the gun back on the tray. The tray is removed, sent back to the kitchen, where an accomplice gets rid of the gun. You find out who was the maid that day, and you've got yourself a killer. What do you think?
Mr. Mordanti, I can see where you've given this case a lot of thought.
Well, Commissioner, after all, this is my hotel. I therefore feel, you know, a special responsibility to help you solve this caper, you know.
I appreciate your concern, Mr. Mordanti, and frankly, I had considered your solution, but I rejected it.
Why? Why?
Well, if it had been the maid, one of the guards would have noticed her leaving the room at some point after the murder. But I like the way your mind works, Mr. Mordanti. Keep it up.
I will, Commissioner, and we'll catch the culprit.
You bet we will.
Listen, why are you up here?
I'm gonna check a window for fingerprints.
From the outside?
Someone might have removed the window, fired the shots, then replaced it.
It's brilliant.
Why, thank you. And now, if you'll excuse us.
Yeah, sure, Commissioner. I'll stay here and I'll keep an eye out for you.
You know, Commissioner, I was a window washer's apprentice once.
Oh, yeah? What's the matter? I thought you said you were a window washer's apprentice once.
Just once, sir. I can't stand the height.
Well, if it makes you dizzy, don't look down.
Yes, sir.
You ready? Ready. Why are you stopped? Here, let me do it. Are you ready?
Commissioner? Yes. There's an open suitcase on the bed there.
So what?
Well, I feel like a voyeur, sir. I mean... What if someone were to come into the room, sir, and see us out here?
Concentrate on the window and forget what's inside.
Yes, sir.
Give me the gun.
I'm praying, sir.
Give me the gun. Never mind praying.
have never prayed so hard for anything in my life.
You should reaffirm your faith. Your prayers were answered.
Not exactly, sir.
What did you pray for?
Wings.
Commissioner, are you all right?
More or less.
Hey, I feel awful about what happened.
He feels awful.
Hi, what happened?
Well, someone slugged me in the back of the head, and when I came to, I looked over the edge and I saw the scaffolding all over the courtyard.
Are you guys all right?
We're fine. I don't suppose you got a good look at the guy who slugged you or anything.
No, I didn't see him. I was looking over the edge at you and at you, and suddenly I was out cold.
Well, then it was no accident, sir. We are stepping on a few toes with our little investigation.
Unfortunately, the toes are stepping back.
Mac, were you able to find anything up on the window?
Well, if there was anything, it's destroyed now. We had to break the window to get back into the building.
This hotel is jinxed. People are murdered, attempted killings, dogs dying. I'm telling you, we've got to get out of this
Dogs
place.
dying? What does that got to do with it?
I was just down in the coffee shop, and the cook was telling me that his dog died of gopher poisoning the same day that Tom Ryan was murdered. Now, isn't that sad?
Sally, Enright and I were almost killed a few minutes ago. That's sad. Let's go.
What kind of a dog was it?
I think I would like to have a drink.
Mildred! Mildred!
Going to the movies.
Oh, are there any phone messages?
Oh, no, let's see.
I'll get your drink.
This is the McMillan domicile. Mildred speaking. No one is home at the present time. If you want to leave a message, please wait for the little beep.
This is Virginia Ryan calling. I'd like to speak to the commissioner at his earliest convenience, please. I can be reached at 555-3124. This is Virginia Ryan calling. I'd like to speak to the... Hello?
Mrs. Ryan, this is Commissioner McMillan.
Commissioner, thank you for returning my call. I just thought that you should know my husband's had another stroke.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mrs. Ryan. How is he?
Well, they've taken him to the hospital, and he's resting comfortably, but at this point, they don't know how serious the damage is or if... Commissioner, I was just thinking that if I could bring him some kind of positive news about your investigation, I think it would help.
Well, I don't want to get your hopes up too high, Mrs. Ryan, but I think we're getting close.
Oh, that is good news.
Mrs. Ryan, I know this isn't the time, but I'd like to ask you a question, if I may. On the night of the murder, when you called the hotel to talk to your stepson, who answered the telephone?
I don't know. I suppose it was one of the guards.
Can you remember how you introduced yourself?
I think I said, hello, this is Virginia Ryan. Or I might have said Mrs. Ryan. And then I asked the guard if he would relay a message to Tom Ryan.
You're sure that's how you said it? A message to Tom Ryan?
Yes, I'm sure.
All right. We'll keep in close touch, Mrs. Ryan. And when you see Tom Sr., give him our love.
Yes, I will. And, Commissioner, thank you for everything. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mrs. Ryan.
What was that all about? What happened to Tom Sr.?
Well, he had another stroke.
Oh, God.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
When I talked to the guard who was on the desk the night of Tom's murder, he said a call came in from Tom's stepmother.
What's so funny about that?
How did he know Virginia Ryan was Tom's stepmother? She never said what her relationship was.
Well, I remember taking the jurors' dinner orders and then phoning it down to the kitchen. And when the dinners came up, I distributed them while Mike kept watching the corridor.
Then what?
Well, then after dinner, we collected the trays and sent them back down to the kitchen. And then most of the jurors turned in for the night.
And then you spent some time in Miss Jerome's room.
Well, yes, sir. But only half an hour. She's a writer, and she wanted to interview me in depth.
And after your in-depth interview, What did you do?
Well, then I relieved Mike at the desk, and about 10:30, call came in from Mr. Ryan's stepmother. And I took the message
You did
down.
it again.
I did what, sir?
How did you know she was Tom Ryan's stepmother?
You see, Jerry, we listened again to the tape of that call, and nowhere on it does Mrs. Ryan refer to herself as anything but Mrs. Ryan.
If you were going to assume she was anything at all, why not his wife? Or his real mother? Why his stepmother?
Well, as you know, Commissioner, during a long trial, the jurors are kept pretty much from any outside contact. And they tend to get pretty chummy with each other and with the guards, just to keep from going bananas. So since we are the only ones they're allowed to talk to, you get to know them pretty well sometimes.
As, say, with Miss Jerome.
Well, you know, sir, the fact is that Tom Ryan was a good guy. And we just sort of struck up a friendship, that's all. I knew all about him and vice versa.
Okay, Jerry, you can go. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.
Well, sir?
Put a tail on him.
Yes, sir. Anything else?
Mm-hmm. I want Tom Ryan's body exhumed.
What for?
So the coroner can do an autopsy.
But he's already done one.
Well, he's going to do another one and keep on doing it until he gets it right.
Another touchdown. This has been a very lopsided game.
Unfortunately, the miners are on the wrong side of the lop.
Go down to the locker room and shake a few of those clods up.
Andy, wait 15 or 20 minutes.
Why?
So you won't say something that I'll have to apologize for tomorrow.
All right. All right. Commissioner, I won't be too long. Why don't you and Sally wait for me and we'll go out for dinner together?
Fine. On us.
Thank you. Buddy, entertain my guests for a while.
What a disaster.
Well, every team has an off game.
We're having an off season. Dead last in the standings and no relief inside.
Well, there's a silver lining. The team with the worst one-loss record gets the first draft pick.
That's true. With some of the best college prospects in years graduating, we have a shot at picking up some terrific talent next year.
There you go.
Are you going to go for a running back to replace Luke?
No, he'll be back next season. And I think we're going to surprise a lot of people.
How can you be so sure he'll be back?
Because I have to believe the case against him is too weak. Now, the way I read it, there's at least a reasonable doubt. And that's all it takes for acquittal.
He said he was going to sign with another team.
Well, I suppose I don't have to keep secret the fact that Luke has signed a long-term pact with our team. Now, I think that next year, with all of our troubles behind us, we could go all the way.
Isn't his change of heart a little sudden? I mean, he went on record as... Everybody stand here. Louis! Louis! You took a shot at me up there. Why?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then why are you running?
Well, as I came out of the locker room, I heard the shot. And when I heard your footsteps behind me, I didn't know whether you were the cop, a sniper, or what. And if you were the sniper, I was afraid of getting killed. Look, it's just my gear. You gotta believe me. I know I came on pretty strong with you the other day, but I was just scared, that's all.
Scared of what?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm fighting for my life on this team. I don't need any trouble with the law.
You're still in trouble with the law. You're not off the hook yet for those 2 murders.
Oh, come on. We've been through this routine already.
But I didn't know that Luke re-signed with the team. Now, where does that leave you?
Resigned? I don't know what you're talking about.
He signed a new long-term contract.
Well, I didn't know that. When I told you that I thought Luke was quitting the team, I was telling you the God's honest truth.
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan told me what happened. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
But can I go?
Yeah, but remember, I want to talk to you later. What's up?
It's Jerry the cop, sir, the one we had the tail on.
Yeah.
Well, he disappeared sometime in the mid-morning. No one's seen him since.
Well, maybe I found him, or he found me. Maybe he took that shot at me. See if we can find him before he tries again.
Well, Commissioner, when you're right, you're right. We blew it with this one.
Nobody's perfect, Sam.
I am, Commissioner. Usually.
Usually perfect? It's like saying slightly pregnant. What did you find?
Well, as you suspected, this guy was poisoned. We didn't find it.
You didn't find it because you didn't look for it.
A man has got 2 bullet holes in his back. It doesn't occur to us to look for poison. How many times do you need to kill a guy?
What kind of poison?
Of all things, Amanita muscaria.
I flunked Latin in high school.
Oh, so did I. It's poison mushroom. Extremely toxic, even in minute amounts. Always fatal.
Slow or fast acting?
Oh, slow. He could have ingested it and gone to bed and died in his sleep. See, this particular poison, it's practically undetectable unless you run very specific tests on it. And as I said, you know, with the 2 bullet wounds in his back...
His dinner was poisoned.
Must have been. How'd you tumble to it?
Scientific deduction, Sam. My wife was talking to a short-order cook in the hotel whose dog was poisoned the same night he was.
You think the killer was the cook?
No, I figured he fed his dog food scraps from the hotel every night, and the poison that killed the dog was probably the poison that killed Tom Ryan.
Excuse me. Yeah. Just a minute. Commissioner, for you.
Thank you. Hello? Yeah, Charlie. He what? Oh, terrific. All right, I'm on my way.
Anyway, Commissioner, if you find the guy who served Tom Ryan his dinner, you found yourself the killer.
Not necessarily. The guy that served Tom Ryan his dinner is in County General. They found him an hour ago in his apartment, shot 3 times in the chest.
Is he gonna pull through?
Chances are dim to none.
Well, I hope he makes it.
Boy, so do I.
Because I am so loaded with bodies now, I can't see straight.
What's the word?
Well, sir, he's alive, but barely. I've got a guard posted.
All right, issue a release to the press in my name saying that we believe we found the man who killed Tom Ryan and that he's been operated on for the removal of several bullets. He's expected to live and provide us with a full statement.
Well, what happens when he doesn't?
Well, by that time, I believe I'll have my man. Get a search warrant for this address and then pick me up at Burton Roner's yacht in the marina.
Yes, sir. Who's Burton Roner?
One of the board of directors.
Andrew Brill is hanging on to the presidency of the miners by his fingernails.
According to him, your board of directors hasn't been able to get rid of him.
True. He got us all going at each other's throats. Before you knew it, any unity there was went down the drain.
And now?
Well, there'd been tremendous sentiment on the board to get him out. And when Luke announced his decision to quit, that really nailed it down. If Luke had been acquitted, Brill would have been out on his own can, since the contract Luke finally signed was conditional on Brill's removal. Of course, now that Luke's future is very much in doubt again, the boards are beginning to waffle.
In other words, if Luke goes back with the team, Brill is through.
Basically, that's it.
Aber jetzt ist niemand zu Hause.
Do you speak English?
Nein, sprechen Sie Deutsch? No zu Hause.
Entschuldigen Sie mir bitte die Störung, meine Dame. Kann ich die Haussuchungsbefehles haben? May I have the search warrant, sir? Aufgrund dieses Haussuchungsbefehles dürfen wir dieses Haus durchsuchen.
In Ordnung, wenn Sie müssen.
Danke.
Bitte.
You two check the front room. Why don't you check in there? I didn't know you spoke German.
Oh, I can manage in 4 or 5 languages, sir. It's a knack I have.
You're a man of hidden talents.
Thank you, sir.
Bitte schön.
Danke schön.
Bitte?
Danke.
And right. And, oh,
What'd you find, sir?
I think you could open that.
Oh, it's a piece of cake, sir. Stand back.
That is amazing. I didn't know you could do that sort of thing.
Well, sir, I have a checkered past.
In 4 or 5 languages. Stand back.
Actually, I used to work for a private detective agency before I joined the force. It's amazing what you can pick up when you work for one of those outfits. What have you found, sir?
Well, the gun that killed Mo Draper.
The housekeeper said that her boss is out at the football stadium.
Let's go.
All right, tomorrow, remember practice at 10 o'clock, just shorts and helmets, all right? Take it on in, let's go.
Carter! Over here, please. I like the way you've been working, Carter.
Hey, what's going on?
Gonna make an arrest, Lewis.
Oh, come on now.
It's not you.
Who is it then?
It was a hell of a good scheme, Stone. You almost got away with it.
Got away with what?
The killing of Mo Draper.
Now, Commissioner, if this is some kind of a joke, it's not very funny.
It's no joke. Luke told you he was quitting the team. There's no way he'd return for another season, so you killed Mo Draper and framed Luke for it.
Now, why would I want to frame my star player?
So you could go to the board of directors and tell them you'd deliver Luke on a long-term contract only if they'd oust Andrew Brill and replace him with you.
Buddy, what is this? I don't know, Andy. It's absurd.
And the board agreed, didn't they? Then you went to your old friend Leon Silver and got him to represent Luke. Then you told Luke you'd absorb the fees only if he'd re-sign with the team.
This is total and irresponsible speculation on your part, Commissioner. You'll never be able to prove any of it.
I'm afraid I can. I made a complete search of your house. I'm sure you'll find this warrant in good order. I found a .22 caliber pistol in your wall safe, registered under the name of Luke Johnson.
You ingrate. You tried to destroy me!
Calm yourself.
What did you expect, Andy? I only did what you would have done under the same circumstances.
All right. I killed Mo Draper.
And the juror as well, no doubt.
Are you kidding? Why would I? I had Luke's contract signed, sealed, and delivered. I had your job in my pocket. I wanted Luke acquitted. No, if you're looking for that killer, Commissioner,
Andrew Brill here is as good a candidate as any. Get him out of here, Commissioner. He makes my stomach turn.
Yeah, you and your mistrial would keep Luke's future in doubt. So with him gone, you could probably hang on to your job, hmm?
I can account for every moment of my time the night he was killed. You want to arrest me, be my guest. But you damn well better have a case.
Take Stone in and book him.
Mac, how did Buddy Stone ever get Mo Draper to lie about having an affair with Luke Johnson's wife?
Easy. Probably offered him money or a lucrative no-cut contract.
How? Then when Luke threatened Mo, Stone killed him.
With Luke's gun, which he probably stole from Luke's house somewhere along the line.
Yeah, but if Luke was found guilty, then Stone's whole plan went right down the drain, right?
The case against him was circumstantial, with no murder weapon as evidence. And all a lawyer of Silver's caliber had to do was establish reasonable doubt in the jury's mind.
Which he did with the exception of Tom Ryan.
And Stone would come out of this whole thing a hero. He provides Luke with the best lawyer in the business and guarantees his services to the team for 5 years.
Commissioner, how did you know that Stone kept the gun?
Well, why get rid of it? If he ditched it, it might show up somewhere along the line, and that would convict Luke. And that's the last thing Stone would want.
Well, it's nice to know Luke's off the hook. But if that guard Jerry dies before talking, well, then you're not any closer to solving Tom's murder than you were before, right?
I still say you're both forgetting Andrew Brill.
Well, he had a motive, but he also had an ironclad alibi.
Well, now, if he hired Jerry to do the thing for him, an alibi doesn't have any meaning.
Tell that to the judge.
So, Tom was killed because 11 people voted innocent and 1 person voted guilty. But how could Jerry have ever known that Tom was the only one to vote guilty?
10 voted innocent and 1 guilty.
What?
What did you say?
Well, I never did make up my mind about how I was going to vote, and then they started arguing with Tom, and they never got around to me.
Mildred, how would you have voted?
Oh, Mrs. McMillan, that's between me and my conscience.
Mildred, you're sensational.
Yeah, I know. I was always good with machines.
No, I'm not talking about the dishwasher. You just told me who killed Tom Ryan.
I told you who killed Tom Ryan.
You told me who killed Tom Ryan.
Mildred! Commissioner, what a nice surprise.
May I come in, Mrs. Ryan?
Oh, please, of course. Oh, I hope you've got some good news for me. I've got to go to the hospital soon to see Thomas, and I just know that it would cheer him up if I could tell him, well, that you've broken the case.
I have.
Really? That's wonderful. Who killed my stepson?
Jerry, one of the guards, by poison.
Frightening. Please, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Do you know why he did it?
No, I don't know why. Maybe money, maybe it was a lot of things. But I do know who put him up to it, Mrs. Ryan. You.
Why on earth would I kill my own stepson?
Money.
Oh, Commissioner. I signed a premarital agreement with Thomas before we were married. If he dies, I get nothing.
You do if there's no one left to inherit the money. Kill Tom Jr., you win by default. You know that killing him during the jury's deliberations would immediately throw suspicion on those involved in the trial, especially when you arranged to have my housekeeper attacked first.
I had never heard anything so bizarre. Now, you know that I was at home the night Tom was killed. You even got a phone call on tape to prove it.
Jerry was quite a ladies' man. It wasn't too difficult to seduce him, was it? What did you promise him? Was it money? Marriage?
You can't prove any of that.
You know I wouldn't have come if I didn't have proof. Jerry told me the whole story.
He couldn't have.
Would you like to come to the hospital with me and see? You're very good at using people, Mrs. Ryan, getting them to do what you want. But you made one mistake. When you tried to kill Jerry, you blew it.
Commissioner, you know what I wish? I wish that you had stayed out of it.
Is that the gun you used when you tried to kill him?
It's the gun I'm going to use to kill you.
Be my guest. But you won't get 10 feet away. You know the police are already on their way. It's over, Mrs. Ryan. And besides, I don't think you've got another murder left in you.
How did you figure it out?
That first phone call, it wasn't just that Jerry knew you were Tom's stepmother. He had an explanation for that. You told Jerry over the phone that Tom Sr. was gravely ill, and you wanted to let Tom know. Jerry said he'd tell him right away. But you said you wanted to talk to Tom, and that always bothered me. Because you both hung up after the message. I kept asking myself why. Unless you both knew he was already dead. Sergeant Enright, send a unit over to the Ryan residence.
You know, Mac, the thing that I can't figure out is how the actual murder itself was committed.
Figuring that out was the easy part. Once I found out the cause of death was poison. Jerry sprinkled the poisoned mushrooms over Tom's dinner just before giving it to him, knowing that Tom would be dead in 2 hours at the most. After Virginia's call came in, Jerry broke down Tom's door.
He's been shot.
Then told Mike to call the police. Then Jerry put a silencer on the gun, fired 2 shots into the body, re-hid the gun and exited the room. By the time the police came and examined the body, they had no reason to doubt Mike, who, on Jerry's orders, had called to report a shooting.
My goodness. You know, it's amazing that a woman as clever and cool as Virginia would confess to a murder, where if she'd only kept quiet, she would have found out that Jerry died before he ever regained consciousness.
It's my honest face. Women always believe what I tell them.
Oh, is that it? Oh, well, I'm gonna remember that the next time that you tell me you're working with the mayor. Until midnight.
I did.
Yeah, hello. Oh, hi, Mr. Mordanti.
Not home, not home.
Oh, I'm sorry, the commissioner is not home, not home. Oh, thank you, Nina. Yeah.
Nina?
Well, as a matter of fact, they're all tough. But, when you've been at it as long as we have, you sort of develop an instinct for the truth. Dinner? Yeah, I'd love it. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. Thank you.
hai trăm láp win và fake 2 lần kéo em chợ xử lý cái chứ cho ngay what the hell 210 láp 42 tỷ 2 triệu một lần có chờ nhầm ôi không còn 100 để bớt 6 15 cái lại sử dụng binh chi linh hay bay binh chi linh điên 18 rồi. Làm chi? Một cây đai máu nữa, sử dụng làm cái giáp máu à? Đây hả? Một bên. Anh không có như em nghĩ. Khỏe đấy. Nhưng mà xếp sai bên khác, xếp bên là thắng. Khỏe đấy chị ạ. Đấy, đúng là 2 bạn nữa. Chuẩn bị cái này 33 triệu start rồi. Tiền cái chứ. Ngon, vừa lên 8 mất và 8 đủ gì. Có ra xét này. Không muốn đâu. Cái này chọn hơn đấy. Ra xin ra rồi. Ngon này. Tôi sẽ tiền lên 30 tiền nữa nhanh không? Cái là xong giao chim là đủ tiền. Còn cái nó nhảy đá gì đó quên. Ra được. Nó lại quay nhiều lên ngoài mắt. Ngoài anh giờ nằm trong mắt rồi, có nguy không? Anh em tôi. Anh biết nguy sao? Mà lắm mắt người ta sao? Người xuống. Và lắp con sinh ra và xong là 57 nghìn. Sinh viên con thứ nhất ăn được. Còn bà sinh viên. Bà sinh viên cũng xanh rồi. Quỷ à? Mới thua. Thì ai cái đánh hay đấy. Bây giờ. Anh bốc lửa từ đó đến giờ. Anh hay vậy. Anh hay như điên mà chịu trốn. Cung à. Cung xanh à. Đai máu. Đai máu. À đây. Đúng ra thì buồn lắm rồi. Buồn lắm em ơi. Biết trách ơi. Đấu lên được rồi. Ôi 18 máu 2 sao nữa. Thiếu tận 68 tiền cơ. Mới có 53 tiền. Chưa đủ. May nữa ông thầy. May như hack rồi. May khác thì hack đâu. Mình phải áp file được mà. Asma. Chi nhất lava dragon. À cái cục lava phế mà. Thầy khỏe hơn. Thầy vừa đánh oan nó còn chết cơ. Thằng thì top 1. À bạn cao thằng top 1 vậy. Thắng top 1 này. Thế sao thắng được thằng top 1 rồi? Phải thắng không vậy? Bắn nhỉ? Nhanh biết. Thắng đi. Chưa thắng rồi, gần thắng. Khiếp, phải bắn toàn để chiêu bắn được mà. Đéo có đam. What the hell, 5 phép. Chịu rồi. Toàn 5 phép ạ. Ra gì à?
আব্বা আম্মা যদি তোর ছোটকালে জানতো তোর হাইটের লগে তোর গাদামির হাইট একটু বাড়বো তাহলে নিজ দিয়ে এমনিতেই 6 ইঞ্চি কেটে দিত তোর আর গাদামি বাড়তো শুন আব্বা আম্মা যা বলে তা কর বিয়েটা কর আর আমার রাস্তাটা একটু ক্লিয়ারটা কর
ও আমি তোমার পথের কাটা না তাহলে কেউ চাস না যে আমি পড়াশোনা করে এই নিজের পায়ে দাঁড়াই
তুই তো নিজের পায়ে দাঁড়াস নাই তুই তো আমার কাঁধের উপর ভর করে দাঁড়ায় আসছিস এই আসো Where? Hey, কিসে তোরা সকালবেলা এরকম কান্দতেছিস কেন? আব্বাও কান্দতেছে, আম্মাও কান্দতেছে। কিছু আম্মা কি সকালবেলা কি সিরিয়াল দেখা শুরু করছে? তাহলে কিছু চুরি হয়েছে বাসায়? কেউ মারা গেছে? কেউ কি মরার আগে হসপিটালে অ্যাডমিট হয়েছে? তাহলে কি হয়েছে? সবাই এরকম আয়োজন করে কাঁদতেছে কেন?
বাবা মা বলতেছে আমার নাকি পড়াশোনার দরকার নাই, ধান থাকলে নাকি ধানের মাঝে চিটাও থাকে, আমি নাকি চিটা।
হ্যাঁ, তোর তো ঠিকই বলছে। আর তুই কখনো দেখছো আব্বা আম্মা পোলাপানের সাথে মিথ্যা কথা বলে?
ভাই কি ওই কথা কইছে? কইছে আমার 1 মাসের মধ্যে বিয়ে করা লাগবে, বিয়ে করে 9 মাসের মধ্যে বাচ্চা পয়দা দেওয়া লাগবে।
মাত্র 9 মাস টাইম দিছে? তুই তো নির্ঘাত ফেল করবি। মানে তোর যে পড়াশোনার কন্ডিশন, তুই 9 মাসের সাথে তোর আরো মিনিমাম 4 মাস টাইম দেওয়া লাগবে, তারপর যদি বাড়ো। আকার দোকানদাররা অবশ্য নতুন যারা বিয়ে করে তাকে চেয়ার দিকে তাকায় থাকে 2 পয়সা ইনকামের জন্য। তোর দিয়ে এটাও হবে না, তুই চিন্তা বাদ। হ্যাঁ বল।
তুইও?
কি?
আমি আগে সন্দেহ করছিলাম তুই আমার মায়ের পেটের ভাই না। মায়ের পেটের ভাই হলে তুই এরকম করে কথা বলতে পারতি না। তোর আমার না কোনো মিল নাই, না আছে স্বভাবের মিল, না আছে চরিত্রের মিল, না আছে তোর এই যে চেহারার মিল, গায়ের কালারের মিল, কোনো কিছু মিল নাই। বাইকটা
শোন, আব্বা আম্মাই যদি তোর ছোটকালে জানতো তোর হাইটের লগে তোর গাদামির হাইটটা একটু বাড়বো, তাহলে নিজ দিয়ে এমনিতেই 6 ইঞ্চি কেটে দিত, তোর আর গাদামি বাড়তো। শোন, আব্বা আম্মা যা বলে তা কর, বিয়েটা কর, আর আমার রাস্তাটা একটু ক্লিয়ারটা কর।
ও, আমি তোমার পথের কাটা না, আমি তোমার জীবনের বাধা। তোরা কেউ আমার ভালো চাস না, তোরা কেউ চাস না যে আমি পড়াশোনা করে এই নিজের পায়ে দাঁড়াই।
তুই তো নিজের পায়ে দাঁড়াস নাই, তুই তো আমার কাঁধের উপর ভর করে দাঁড়ায় আসছিস। শোন, আমি তোর ছোট হিসেবে চাই তুই আব্বা আম্মার কথাটা শোন, তুই 1 মাসের মধ্যে বিয়েটা কর, আমি কবজি ডুবায়া তোর বিয়ের কাচ্চি খাবো, বুঝছস? এই আসো।
Ra ngoài thì cút. Không sao thầy ơi. Phải bỏ 2 con ngoan gì đấy không cua mất. 15 máu thôi, đánh đổi thôi. Con 3 rồi. Đánh đổi rồi. AC1 chiếc AC2 là bên rồi. Hàng từ hàng tông người ta chưa thử rồi. Làm trên của nó này. Đấy vẫn khỏe. Kéo chua vẫn khỏe. Không yếu đâu. Để đấy. Ông hai cái đéo mày ơi, đéo chết. Ông hai mà không chết vậy. Ống nó. Bài biết. Ui, ông không chết lại. What the hell? Ô, ấn pháp sư. Cái cả một chú bút dòng ông hai không chết. Trôn tỏ. À, nghe. Số 6. Chat game. Của chat game. Có 2-3 bật tiền, 2-3 điểm thì mất hết tiền. Yeah. $235. Từ từ lên đủ tiền lên sắp rồi, hai lần nữa. Khoảng bao nhiêu? Khoảng là tầm 2,5 là không đủ, nên 5.5x tốc độ sử binh. Binh không thầy ơi. Đó mới củ sắn này. Vì vậy đây. Này 125 à? 200 rồi. Cộng gì đây? Tạm mới nâng cấp tất cả nâng cấp cho một lần mình. Rồi xoay bài tự động không? Tôi lấy bạc rồi anh lấy xoay bài tự động ấy. 180 à? Vách. Không được á. Vách. Được, lấy còn. Như đi qua này 215 nắp à? 25 à? 25. 35 không? Được cộng 10 này, 30 rồi, thừa 30. 10 này. 229 ạ. Đó thì bảo thừa 30. Wow, cái này gì luôn. Thần tài này. Thần tài lên, ở chờ nhỉ. Thần tài lên. Thần tài đến. Bay. 120 à, lần một lượt bớt. Cái gì đấy, máy lỗ à? Máy lỗ sao? Nổ máy. Đéo vào đây. Cái giờ rét à? Tính như thầy. Đặt tiền nó đã xuống à? Chợ Tết. Perfect. Good landing rồi à? 100 à? Anh có thể chỉnh cho nó phải good landing mấy lượt. Giờ. Chồng chỉnh bằng những gì mà xuống. Này á. Vì nó thì lệch lệch chạy sang bên kia một tí. Con không? Good landing. Méo vậy, phải nói. Áo choàng bạc, độc dược sĩ. Được lấy mất chất hồi phục. Có sức hành vác, cái điều lính. Áo choàng bạc này. Xong đâu? Thần tài ngay.